Here's a message of importance to millions of people who are continually pale and washed out, weak and run down. Doctors will tell you that these conditions are often caused by a deficiency of iron. The iron you need to keep you physically fit and mentally alert. Medical studies show that 2 out of 3 women and many, many men lack the daily iron your body requires in a form your body can easily use and put to work. Every dose gives you more than your daily minimum iron requirement.
We are awake, we are awake, we are not alone. We are striving for more.
So if you're not getting the iron your body needs, if you feel weak, run down, and are easily upset,
We are striving for more.
start taking iron today.
It's Friday, my dudes.
Thank God it's Friday.
Well, TGIF, everybody. Welcome to Have No Sphere, right here on the Iron Rail Media YouTube channel. My name is Josh Corey, and we had a hell of a meeting on Wednesday for production for this pre-show. Hell of a meeting. 0 pre-show, 0 production done, but man, it was an enjoyable meeting. Good to talk to everybody, because this is the amount of socializing that I do, essentially, is down here in my little studio that I have. Well, twice a week in the morning over there on Truth Frequency Radio, and then here every Friday for Have No Sphere, talking to, well, some of my absolute best friends and brothers in arms here with the crew, and then most recently now a sister in arms as well. Let's say hello to the people we got hanging out with us today. Starting off with, I don't think he's here. We'll start off with Mr. Zachary Zabala, or if you're hanging out on YouTube, you can find him at Good Times for All, if you prefer him that way. Zach, we had a hell of a show this morning. Did you get some sleep in, I think?
Yeah, I got it.
Oh. I think you're maybe still muted, or something's going on with your mic again.
Oh,
Just while you're doing that, Josh, we've
Can't hear
only
me?
got the thumbnail up, no feed from Zoom on YouTube.
hello?
And there was no visuals.
Oh,
on
yeah,
the-
it's coming. It's all transferring through. You're just...
Hey,
Yeah. We're working on it.
Can you not hear me? Hello?
You're real quiet, Zach. Real quiet.
Crazy. I'm gonna jump out and jump back in.
All right. Well, since Adam's here, we'll go ahead and say hello to Adam. The Adam Meakin. So how's
good
things...
evening, Mr. Corey.
Say, how things across the pond? Are things still staying reasonably sane? I ask knowingly.
We left Sanityville a couple of weeks ago, I think, in terms of cognizance of what the hell's we're being subjected to. I think we were chatting earlier tonight with some of the guys we'll introduce in a minute. And I'm kind of immune to this, being on the front line. So my days, they're a little bit more hectic, but I'm kind of enjoying the reduced hours and more time at home. So for me, it's a very different thing. But I think for the majority of people, the stay at home, keep safe, save the NHS, is starting to send people a little bit towards that mark of insanity. So, yeah, hopefully we'll cover that topic tonight, mate. And like I say, it's interesting because I missed pre-show tonight in the week. I was gabbing on the girls' show when I know you guys said you didn't discuss anything anyway, but yeah, I kind of missed the pre-show. So I had a good chat with you guys as to what it's like. So I'm really intrigued as the curfew descends over there, how you guys are dealing with it and how people are reacting to it more than anything as well. So, but yeah, a good evening to you, Mr. Corey. Anyway, how's your week been before we move on and we forget to ask?
My week has been real nominal. My life really has not changed very much yet, other than now I have people wearing face masks all around me. That's about the extent of it. I get up, do shows, go to work, come home, clean, take care of mom, hang out with the fam. In bed by 9. I'm done. I'm back up again by 3 or 4 a.m., doing it all over again. And that's the way it's been for the last several years. So it's not really been affecting me too awfully much. But I guess we'll see how much longer I stay an essential employee.
It's interesting you've stayed essential. Just remind people what you do, because I'm a pharmacist, so I'm dealing with the public frontliner, but Josh is essential frontline because
let's see. There's very specific wording I have to use here. We are a contractor for the Department of Defense, and we build the fire control units for militaries around the world. I couldn't get him to change the wording too much on that, but it's all lawyer speaking.
The response had to be controlled. Made my statement in of itself, mate. Yeah, it's not a health thing, is it?
No, not well. Sort of. If you have a coin and health is on one side, I'm on the other. So basically all I do is inside the tanks that the military has, when they go to fire those big guns they have on the front of the tanks, they aim it through like this telescope that sits out there. And the telescope sits on a mount so that you can sight in and move your telescope and change it and make sure everything's level and zeroed in. And when you pull that trigger, when a round goes down range, people die. And basically what I've been doing, at least the last little bit, I'm back on the mounts, the mount that holds that actual telescope. All the dials that you have to turn in to adjust the cant and the azimuth and the pitch and all of that good stuff. I build that mount itself. So we just got to make sure that the military can efficiently kill people. So I guess it is essential, in the eyes of the government, I suppose. Though I have heard rumblings of them trying to figure out what could be done if they did have to shut down. I don't really see that happening. So, silver lining is I have job security. But
Does your department put the Coriolis knob on there?
Not on my particular mount, no. I have not found anybody that's been able to explain where that knob is. You would think it'd be there. You'd think if there's going to have to adjust for the Coriolis effect, surely there's factored in somewhere. You're not going to want to do those calcs on the fly.
There should be an app by now.
Right? But yeah, there's lots of fun stuff to learn because we handle the telescope too. So we deal with a lot of optics. We deal with a lot of magnetics and building compasses and things like that. So a lot of the what am I trying to say? The surveying equipment, or the big lenses that they're looking to run these surveys. We build a lot of those and sell a lot of those as well. So, I'm learning a lot. I've only been there 7 or 8 months, but we're having fun. It's good stuff. I'm learning a lot. And again, it's just making my life chug right along. So far, food's not too scarce. People aren't too terribly silly just yet. But from what I'm seeing, things are. Again, I feel, for me, it almost feels like it's winding down more than ramping up. When I think of where we are now, and I don't really see things ramping up a whole lot. But we'll see. We'll see if round one ramps up more, or if they're going to let things die down, and come autumn time, winter time, we're going to kick in round two, and we'll get COVID-20 or something else. Or again, we get the vaccine for COVID-19 and COVID-20, so that when COVID-20 comes, only the anti-vaxxers get it, and then they all die. So all the truthers get wiped out on COVID-20. So we'll see. We'll see. Silver linings. Just keep thinking positive. That's what it is.
Previously described as the Corey hypothesis.
That's it.
It's still the best and most plausible conspiracy head on. It is the best fit for me, mate. Honestly, when you said it to me, it's just brilliant. If I was writing it, that's what I'd write, because it's absolute Machiavellian genius. You evil bastard.
Yeah.
Right.
Feels dreadfully accurate, doesn't it?
So we say hello to Noel for before we do. Just guys, tonight we've got a few guests before we introduce them. This is Noel, who's part of the crew over at the Really Woke show. Who I've been in the absence of Iron Realm, and with all this going off, I've been privileged enough to be over there and been allowed to ramble the odd night or two. Noel's out there in Malta, so hi Noel, nice to meet you. Say, nice to have you on Iron Realm, mate.
Thank you for inviting me. Thank you for having me. I've got to confess, very little is happening in my life. Every night we go on these shows and we talk about what's going on. I'm like, I look off my balcony. I get tired by playing with my daughter. This is where I get my news now, because everything is being interfered with. There's so much noise. There's so much misinformation. I never actually felt this confused. I've always felt like I knew what was going on, at least for like the last 5 years. But like, yeah, I know what's going on. Now I'm just, I think I know what's going on. It could be really bad, or it could be fine.
It'd be nice to think we know what's going on. What I think is I'm grasping to feel that I can know what's going on. But we could do this, Josh. Let's get everybody in, because otherwise,
Let's do it. Let's do it. We do have Cammy still. I want to make sure we say hello to Cammy. Cammy, how are things in the Nodell household?
Hey, it is Taco Tuesday. Oh, it's Friday, but woohoo! But yeah, we are having tacos, and every time that you introduce somebody else, it gave me a few more bites. So it's a good day. It's a bright, sunshiny day in Denver. Clouds are moving in, but I think it's in the 70s. It's really nice out.
Nice. Got a little chilly here. It was really nice. It had almost 90 day before yesterday. Then we got a little frost overnight. So go figure.
Yeah, that day before yesterday, that pre-show meeting that I also didn't show up for, it was in the mid 70s here, and I had the hot tub open, and the birds were singing, and I'm sorry, but it was a beautiful day. I missed the meeting too.
Nope, I can't blame you. Had I a hot tub, I probably would have rather been in there as well. So,
and they did it even though it's not coming. It's going to be snowing here on Sunday. We're supposed to, get several inches of accumulation. Right now, it's again in the mid 70s. But anytime they say snow is coming, it just makes you want to play out in the sun. It's a Colorado thing.
We're supposed to have like proper summer's day here this weekend, 22 degrees, so like height of British summer weather. So interesting that you're getting a Colorado excitement. I mean, that's guys. Josh, just before we introduce the other two guests.
Yeah.
Obviously, there's no Savage tonight. I know he's busy. So shout out to him, but probably more importantly, the other brother that's missing is Walt. With a reason we know lots about, and I just want to send loads of love and praise your way, mate. You're a brick. Keep it together for that family, bruv. I know how strong you've been, and I'm praying to keep your strength there for you, mate. And love you, pal. And if you need us, you know where we are. You know where we are, mate.
Big shout out.
That's for you, Walt. I know how much you love Torgos. But no, still sending lots of positive vibes and prayers out there for Walt and his family in Oregon. Going through a real rough time.
Yes, it's times that, like, you look at people going through the hard times, and I almost feel a little bit guilty. So it wouldn't help to feel worse. So I'm hoping more people can feel good with me instead of the other way around. But yeah, all of our prayers and thoughts over to Walt and his mom.
Right, move it on, and a quick shout out to Dee Dee Van. Dee Dee, love you, mate. Request, Josh. Savage. There you go.
I was thinking it in my head. It was going over and over in my head. All I could hear was savage, savage, savage in my head. I'm so glad you played that.
Evening Rocks.
Hello, my lovelies. Hello, guys, gang. It's been a while. Missed you all. Sending you all big hugs as usual. Thank you so much for having us here. That was dire. What happened to us? Just, as I said, it's happened a few times, but again, super, 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 super grateful to be here.
Well, it is an absolute pleasure to have you. Glad you can make it. It has been. It's been way too long.
Big time. Big time. How are you all? We're all right. We're still standing. London's still standing. Still.
London has not fallen.
Not yet. I'm right beside Heathrow, and there are flights taking off from Heathrow going. We're accepting flights from Rome. We're accepting flights from Egypt. We're sending flights to New York. There's all sorts of flights going on. I don't know what lockdown means, actually, because if you look at any flight tracker, you'll see the skies are super, super busy. So, yeah, Heathrow's still got a ton of planes in it, and they're taking off and landing daily.
We were talking a couple of weeks ago that they were flying airplanes because it was cheaper than grounding them. So they just take empty planes, pick them up, and fly them from destination to destination, even though there's no passengers, because it's cheaper than keeping them grounded. I don't know.
It's very strange, especially when you look at the destinations they're coming and going from. It doesn't make any sense. Plus, seen some military helicopters flying over this evening. My daughter's seen one. I've seen two, and I went out and filmed one as well. And they seem to be going back and forth. I popped it into the really woke chat I've been in Skype, so you can. It's at night, so all you can see is the light from the helicopter, but you can hear it. It's a really. It is what it is. But
we've seen.
Well, let's introduce Rich. Yeah, Rich.
Yeah,
because I was about to dive in. The other guest for this evening is my good friend Rich, who's the co. I don't know whether it's triple, whether like Noel's like super thing, but certainly the host, one of the hosts over there,
Trisixel.
Yeah, the lyrical master himself, Mr. Double.
No, I'm not the lyrical master.
Well, the
I'm
vocal,
not the lyrical master. I'm the musical.
Oh, you're
master.
right. That's my title. You're right. Stop it. I thank you for that. I appreciate that. No, a man who I tell you what has been for the past few weekends, and I've been getting home, has been entertaining. Well, however many numbers YouTube wishes to portray, and yeah, a bloke that actually it's weird, Josh. I remember. I don't know because it's flat Earth year. So probably about 23 years ago, when we were doing the first Iron Realm shows, I remember watching Rich, not knowing who he was, but just seeing him on there, and so this bloke like in the Canaries. He's quite good when I'm setting up the show. But I do get told if I mention he's not just a flat earther, you know. And I know he's not a flat earther now, he's a globalist denier. So I could introduce, that was one hell of a fluff, by the way, Rich, I gave you there. That was
Love that.
007.
Love that. Wow.
What's that?
Said that was one hell of a fluff.
Such a musician.
It's the kid.
I'm sorry.
Well, Rich, just say hello. Tell us what it's like over there, exactly where you are, and just tell us what it's like over there, would you?
Yeah, so I'm off the west coast of Africa, and in Tenerife in the Canary Islands. I live a few kilometers away from an unofficial port that's used by the oil companies. There's always platforms in there and oil tankers, and at the moment there's a cruise liner in there, which is odd because cruise liners don't go to that port. I'm a globe denier. I started off as a flat earther, and then quite quickly, I was never really that comfortable calling myself a flat earther because I didn't understand the paradigm of the flat earth paradigm. But then I found it easy to say, yeah, the globe's a lie. That's absolutely, the globe was a lie because there's no observable curvature. So I've been doing that for the last creating on YouTube, and it's been largely about my observations that prove that the globe is a lie, and also just my general opinions and insights and whatever along the way. We saw the lockdown start about 4 weeks ago or something, I think. It was the day after Noel Noel went to school, and they said, oh, they're closing the school down. I was expecting 3 more days of work, but I went into work the next night and they said, no, tonight's the last night, we're closing down, we're shutting. They were saying it's going to be for 14 days, and I'm saying, yeah, 14 days. Okay, I'll see you later then, because it's not going to be 14 days. And it's been more than 14 days already. It's been nearly 4 weeks now. So and I do live music as well. I'm a musician. That's what I do here to sustain myself. I'm like an entertainer. I've been doing it for 20 years. I've been doing it professionally for 10 years and 11 years now.
Rich,
and
do you want to tell us about the song that the community's kind of put together? And we often get a strike ourselves historically for trying to do a bit of music, and that's what you guys have been bringing with your talent. But I know you, is it Vertec and
the Astral Thief?
The Astral Thief. I didn't know whether to put the in. Have put together some. Hopefully, if you're happy, we'll play it at some point later on. Rich, if you
yeah, man. I mean,
maybe give a description of that one.
It's audio, isn't it? It will just be audio, won't it? So
play the video.
Well, the video is actually, I've noticed a mistake in the video that's glaring out to me every time I see it, and I'd really like
to doing your head in.
Yeah, it's doing my head in. I'd really like to take it down.
Wokey oik in you.
No, that was quite. I like that little spelling mistake there, but no, it was.
It's a week.
It was. It's just bugging me because it says sinning instead of.
Who cares? It's a brilliant video.
Instead of some laughter, it says sinning laughter, or sinning love, or something. I don't know, but it says sinning instead of some, and it's really bugging me. So I want to change it.
Yeah, but the video's good, so just ignore that, right? And we should play that because the video works really well. I think it's quite a cool.
Do you know what? I was going to do this video. I was going to be really adventurous, right, and actually try and make a proper music video where it was lip synced. But then it dawned on me that I was going to have to go out onto my roof and, sort of look like a bit of an idiot for a bit. And there's a lot of people out on the roofs, and I am actually a little bit self-conscious. They're all Spanish, and they don't really get me anyway. So, yeah, I voiced out, and I thought, no, I'm just going to put the lyrics up. I'll put the lyrics up. That'll be better. And then everybody knows what we're singing. Everybody can sing along and learn the lyrics, sing along. Because it's all about the lyrics, to be honest. It is all about the lyrics, really. The Astral Thief's done a brilliant job. He's a bit of a lyrical genius. So, yeah, it was. I'd written some music and I gave it to Vertec to produce it. I knew what I wanted, but I didn't have the equipment here to do it. So I gave it to Vertec. He produced it. He added things to it that I didn't say I wanted, but I did actually want. He turned one of the bass lines that I put a bass line in there because I didn't have horns. So I put this muted bass that worked quite well. But he heard the horns in the muted bass and he put it in, and it sounded really good, man. I was really happy with it. So I managed to make Astral's lyrics fit it really well. So yeah, you can play it. You can play it. Of course.
Right. Look, you've been playing.
I told Robin that he couldn't. I asked Robin not to play it because of the mistake in the video.
Honestly, you know what I mean? Hey, they got me caterwailing away, and you're worried about spelling mistake. Yeah, cheers, Rich. Right, Josh.
Yeah.
Over to you, sir. Zach, you finished those tacos yet?
Here, I haven't even started eating.
Your audio's no better now that you're back. It's so weird because you were a little muffled before, and we got you sounding good. It sounded better, so where you could hear you nice and clear. And now it's all gone. Tits up.
Try singing, Zach.
Hello.
We got you.
We got him now.
Hello, is it me you're looking for?
Yeah, that's my speaker on my phone.
That's better, man.
Now is it bad again?
Now
Nope.
we got you. It's good.
Still good.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I just had to turn the speaker on and then turn it. That was weird. Okay, I'm here.
I'm jealous of the microphone that Josh has got, to be honest.
It takes me back to my late teens, early 20s. This is called it's a blue microphone, but this particular model is the 8-ball. So it's not like they have a snowball and they have a lot of these other ball microphones, but this was like the first ball microphone that was not a condenser, or that was a condenser, but it wasn't the USB compatible. This is an XLR only, so I really like it. It's got a really good sound. There's a bit of a short in the back on the plug, but as long as I'm really still, it's not an issue.
I like Noel's wobbling phallus microphone.
That's pretty good. Well, I did want to mention that we are streaming on Facebook as well, over on our Facebook page, Iron Realm Media Facebook page. I thought it appropriate that if we were going to do multiple live streams with video, we could have like a COVID show tonight.
Be a Miley Cyrus.
We testing the algorithm.
We tested the algorithm. I'm pretty sure co-videos are okay. I mean, co-videos can be dangerous.
we were calling it Miley Cyrus.
That's pretty
We
good.
keep getting taken down, but they don't put the COVID thing underneath our video.
Uh-oh.
We've noticed we don't get the disclaimer.
Might as well
Well, we
call
didn't
it.
Take
on
it
the last
down.
one, did we?
But
Yeah, we didn't get it on the last
No.
one. It was good.
we never seem to get the little disclaimers underneath the video.
We did on the
telling people
first one. The
COVID.
first one that we did, Rox. The first couple that we did, we've got the COVID thing underneath, I think. But yeah, the last lot we haven't at all. It's good.
Now they just come through like a wrecking ball and just take you guys off midstream.
Literally,
But there's-
honestly, out of
there's no
100% of content, like more than 50% of it's gone each week. Like what you see left on our channels is the dregs of what we've done. When I mean the dregs, as in the bulk of the content is gone each week. It's just gone. Gone. Gone.
Is it gone?
Gone.
Yeah.
But where is it?
The worst thing is now they're waiting until like we're only 10 or 20 minutes until the end, and they take it down then. When they do it earlier on, we just go back and stream again. That's why we got
Yeah.
taken down 3 times that time.
Yeah.
But yeah, now they wait until near the end, so that like the last couple of times they did it, we've gone back and it's been half an hour of us just going, yeah, well.
I do have a
us
little
down
tip
again,
though. I've got a little tip, right? See if you are sharing your live streams, right? This is what I've done, and it's worked a treat because they removed them out of your studio creator as well. So it's just not. It's like you never had. It's like like a real life conversation outside of a shop. Unless you're there, you're not going to have the conversation. It's like that. It's just gone. It's gone. And so when you put it in your community section, if you share it on your own community section, the community post is there with a void screen in it, so you can see that there was a piece of content there. It's now gone. But all other traces and evidence of it, even when you click into it, just doesn't do anything. But you can see that it was there, if that makes sense. So when you go, if
Yeah.
you go to my community section, you'll just see all these voids in my community
same.
section. Not there.
Video unavailable.
Mhm.
Well, after watching you guys get taken down one at a time, picked off by the sniper of YouTube, I thought it might be wise for us to go ahead and record as well. So
If only we had done that, we'd still have us rocking out to Bohemian Rhapsody and I Want to Break Free.
That's the trouble because we're using StreamYard, isn't it?
Classic. Right. I've still got neck ache now. I really went
Maybe
into
we
it.
should. Maybe we could start using Zoom.
Maybe that's what we'll do now. Maybe that's what we'll do. But it was fun. It was really fun. But it's just, shout out to all the people that were there. They know it happened because they saw it. Adam saw it happen as well. Adam definitely
I
saw it.
saw you
happen.
bust those shapes, Rox. I saw you throw your
I
neck.
did. I was doing bits.
Saw her
I don't
give
get
herself
out much.
whiplash.
I don't
Mild
get out
whiplash.
much. I just don't get out much. It's
I-
staying in instead of going out.
You're not allowed
I
out
thought-
much, Rox, more than anything.
Yeah, that's it. Maybe we're not allowed out much. Yeah,
Personally, I think that my guitar miming was legendary.
it was better than my dancing actually. It was. I could do air guitar though. That's confirmed.
There was more pop mine tonight, wasn't it? Than I'm still waiting though, Rox. Whilst we've got him and you're here, Mr. Corey, with his great mic.
Oh yeah.
Cammy, I know Zach won't take much prompting. He'll just bust a tune on his own. But there's 2 others that I'm looking forward to. Mrs. No Doubt.
Well, yes.
Are you gonna lay a track down?
Have you heard me sing?
Have you heard me sing?
No. Seriously, have Globebusters type in chat, or even Karen. I've been at her house. My own mother, who loves me. I will say she loves me. She says even at church, just mouth the words God would understand. I'm telling you, singing for you is doing you no favors at all. But I'll mouth the words and dance along.
Man.
Oh, I
Wait.
love it.
It's really
I
bad.
love it. It's all about the taking part, babe. It's all about the taking
Oh,
part.
honey, I was Roxanne when you were doing the Egyptian one. I was dancing along to that one too. But yeah, it does. My singing does nobody any favors.
Cutie. I bet it does.
I bet it does. I think we'll be the judge of that, Cammy.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll let you be the judge, but
Actually, I think I'd like to
And-
point out to everybody. I'd like to point out to everybody that really karaoke, that the whole the thing about karaoke is that you're not meant to be able to sing.
Thank God for that.
Yeah. We're meant to
Well-
just screech it out the best way
Have a
possible.
go, man.
no, I heard
Get out there
Roxanne
and
doing it. I
give
heard you guys can
some.
sing. I'm
Thing
sorry.
is, we're intimidated here because Walter is particularly good at the old karaoke, isn't he? So I think if he weren't so distracted, Iron Man would have something to put up worthy of that number one slot, Rocks, I think.
See? There you go.
Down
Hey,
to you.
Roxanne,
Yeah.
I have something better, and I think that like he would even agree to it to keep me from singing in public. But you know who can sing is Bob.
Bob.
Bob's got a killer voice. I mean, he's
Dark
wonderful.
horse, Bob.
He's
Bob, you're in the chat room. I see you, Bob. We'll be expecting an incoming performance from you.
Oh, dropped in it there, Cammy. Nice.
That's it. I'm getting at him in the chat room now, Cammy. I can see him.
He's doing 2 shows at once. He could be over at Robin's.
Okay. Multitasking Bob. Shout out to multitasking Bob right now. The Moabs are incoming.
He's there. He's everywhere. He's doing it. But yeah, he's got a beautiful. I love it. Absolutely love it when he sings. He used to do it more often. You know, just go around and sing, and he doesn't as often. But it's something that changes. I mean, makes my mood just. I love it.
What were some of his go-tos when he would go out and sing? What were some of his go-to songs that he just killed every time?
He nailed every time. I don't know if you knew Sean Mullins' Rockabye, the lullaby song.
Oh, I think maybe.
And then he did the Seal song, the Rose,
The Rose?
the Rose and the Gray song. He did that one really good. A lot of them like that. Any of the Journey or 80s.
Brilliant.
The power ballad type stuff.
Yeah.
Right on.
Queensryche, he does. He's got a nice voice. And again, I don't sing because I have a bad voice. Not that you guys wouldn't love me because I have the bad voice, but I'm just doing it out of appreciation to all of you.
What about I put this to Jaron when he piped out, Cammy. What about a duet then?
If like I get the I don't know. I know Beastie Boys.
No is the answer.
There you go.
Can you find like a really terrible part, like a jokey, trying to think of, who'd have the terrible voice. There are several good, great singers, famous singers that have bad voices. I guess I could be one of those.
It's all about finding your range. Just living right there.
That's it. That's it.
Yeah.
Creating memories and living our best lives despite all adversities.
I've loved it, man. It's put a proper smile on my face. And when Quantum Eraser,
Paige, I like that. Paige.
I didn't know what to do, Cammy. I thought I need to do a video, and I obviously got the Terminator stuff. And I thought, what can I put in? And it was so American Pie that I thought I had to have a young girl in the meadow, happily skipping. Yeah, shout out, Colin. And we've got another contender from the Discord group as well. Roxanne, you know the name, don't you?
Go on. Say it.
Helio skeptic. I know.
That's it. Right, sorry. Because I was going to say skeptic, but then I was like, yeah, it's something skeptic, isn't it? I've done it's something in the air. Not sure. Maybe I need to smoke a little bit more. Maybe that's what it is. Helio skeptic. That's it. It was 50-50 in the chat room today. Both tracks are great. Both tracks are great. Let's be fair.
Oh, it's brilliant. As always, John has taken a competition. He instantly assumed there was a competition when you were just asking which orders to play them in.
I know. Because they were so great, it wasn't about picking. It was not. I don't like and. I mean, I don't like or. I like and. I don't like let's have that or that. Let's have that and that. That's better.
Let's have brownies and tacos. Yeah.
Yes. Yes, Camille. That's what I'm
See,
talking.
that works for
That's
me.
that is the stay-at-home life now. We're just gonna have that, and maybe some of that too.
What we're doing here. And
Hey.
just to be true, I have on my stove, I do have tacos and brownies.
Yes, Camille. That is what I'm talking about because I've got tortilla
Winning.
chips and chocolate brownies. That is winning. We are winning with capital W's here. Yes. Shout out us with our brownies. Yay.
Well, considering we're talking about here and there,
Brownies.
to either side of the pond, that's kind of what I wanted to do. We've been chatting all week on Really Woke Show, whichever channel you want to see taken down on, Double O or Roxanne's.
Be it taken down on both or just one?
Yeah, you know, take your pick. Either way, it's going down. Who knows in which order? Who knows? I
Yeah.
thought that was interesting tonight.
Yeah.
But what I thought was what I wanted to know really was, Rox, if you could maybe just describe what we're going through, how we're dealing with it, whilst Riley rings me, and I'll deal with him in a second.
Keep your pants
I'm gonna
on.
get to the moonlight, Riley. I'm gonna get there. I promise you.
I was wondering if it was either the Moonlight or Gary Barlow, one of the two.
Well, he probably is. After Gary Barlow let him down, fat lad.
He basically mullered Gary Barlow and exposed Moonlight in the same week. Game changer.
I tell you what, you tell them what's going off, Rox, over there, so that, because like I said, I really want to hear what it's like over there, what you're expecting, why you think we've turned into pussies, maybe, or are complying, and what you expect. Because whilst we look at Italy, we're promised a lockdown, and Noel's there ahead of us, and Rich is there ahead of us in terms of weeks and what they've been told's been adjusted on its time scale. It'll be interesting to see what you guys are thinking in that. But yeah, Rox, over to you. Will you just kind of just summarize?
Just summarize quickly the hysteria and the craziness that is our lives just now in the UK. The hysteria is the polarization of the community, whether it's a truth community, half truth. What I mean by that is people that have been distracted so much with life, they've never had a chance to look into things. People that are already awake to a lot of things, and people that are on their way to being awake to a lot of things. There's a lot of things that's polarized the general community. And I'm not talking about the online community, I'm talking about the actual populace out there. It started when we were making content. I was, trying to bring forth some of the things that, the mums at school were talking about. I brought in some of the WhatsApp conversations that I'm involved in with the school mums and what the general feel was with the mums. And, we all kind of had the heads up that the schools were going to get shut down, and the schools got shut down. And pretty much the same, we've all had the same rollout, but just like a domino effect, if that makes sense. And now we're watching Spain, who have had their, daily exercise taken away from them. When we look at, I know a lot of you have been sick and tired of listening to me for the past year saying we're going to be witnessing the systematic takedown of the old oppressive guard that we've been under for so very long. And now it's almost like one can hide under a rock to try and get away from this, but even at that, you're in denial at that stage. Not us. I'm saying one would be in denial at that stage to pretend that this isn't going on. And even on our platform, we've kind of put it out there. What's the general consensus? When does everyone feel that this is going to come to an end? And everything ranges from in 2 weeks' time to 6 months' time. Some people saying halfway through next year. But for us here, I will be honest with you, having Noel and Rich have been a game changer in my life personally, because I've been completely desensitized alongside everyone that's been viewing it to what's happening. I wasn't shocked when I saw replicated what the guys were showing us over there. It's almost, identical in the way that the schools have shut down, tourism industry shut down, the repatriations are happening. The general mood here, though,
in London might not be retrospective as far as the rest of the country is concerned. And what I'm noticing is, as any Londoner that's watching this just now that lives in London knows that every, pocket of London's different. London's, a good 1,000 or so little villages that are all stuck together in different boroughs, and those boroughs consist of, north, south, east, west London, and then you've got the centre of London and the outer suburbs. So if you just look at like London like a clock, like an onion ring, and all the rings going to the outside, and eventually the furthest out one would be like the M25. It's further into the onion ring you go, is the more city centre that you are. I can't vouch for the city centre because it's not my local area, and at the moment I'm not poking the bear. You all know, as do my friends and family know, that I went to Speaker's Corner for as long as I could without actually prematurely taking my freedom away from myself unnecessarily. And I myself, I would ask hundreds to join me at Speaker's Corner this Sunday if I genuinely thought it was going to make a difference to the international situation that's going on right now. Formula One's come to a stop. Bread and circuses have come to a stop everywhere. There's no football going on here. There's no basketball going on here. There's no hockey. There's no golf. There's no snooker. There's nothing. There's just nothing. Absolutely nothing apart from going to the supermarket, going to the pharmacy, and maybe taking a dog for a walk and going for some exercise if you're lucky. And everyone's just dealing with it admirably, because I don't know about anyone else here, but I genuinely don't have a gut instinct right now that this is happening to harm us. When you look at all the battles that have been fought in the past, people have been enlisted and told to go to battle, and we're being just told to go home, watch Netflix. And that saying, some people could fuck up a bowl of cornflakes. It's really simple. But I feel like there's a lot of people that are already making this a mountain out of a molehill, because, it's a lot of speculation and assumption of what's going on just now. There's a lot of regurgitated videos getting recirculated because, as I said, the bread and circuses have all gone, so the disinformation has jumped by tenfold. There's videos circulating as if they were last week and they were put out 2 years ago. I myself actually shared a video on my channel 2 years ago that was then reshared to me by my subscribers as new content. I'm like, I used that video 2 years ago. It's crazy. Why would no one look at the dates of these videos? Why would no one check these videos like we're looking at distance shots on the globe? Why would everyone not cross-reference all of this information and get the source material for where this information's coming from? And I'm not sure if everyone's being more comforted right now by fear or trying to stay on the path of truth. I'm concerned for everybody. I think everybody obviously needs to remind each other to handle one another with care, and just remind each other that arrogance and self-importance right now is really not a priority, because everybody's life's been affected in one form or another. I yield. Sorry, I've gone on for a bit longer. Yeah.
My mom and I had a chat today, and last time we talked, we kind of argued. She's so smart, but she pays attention to the news, what they say, and what the government officials say. And she taught me when I was like 8 years old that they all lie. Like, apply some of that knowledge to, everyday life. And today, we didn't bring it up at all. She didn't bring it up. I didn't bring it up. And we talked for like an hour, and it was a great chat. So, yeah, you really have to know there's certain people that you're not going to agree about this, and there's going to be some kind of issue. Just don't even bring it up. Find something else to talk about.
Well said. Handle with care. That's it. That's all anyone can do at the moment, because we're all in it already. We're in knee deep already, and we need each other more right now than we've ever needed each other in our lives, ever, unknowingly as well. In a couple of generations, this kind of stuff hasn't been seen. And so we just need to make sure that we all make sure everyone's all right and everyone's being mindful of everyone. There's a lot of people that are waking up and not having good mornings. There's a lot of people that are waking up weary, isolated on their own. And there's some people that are just, I don't mean in our community, I'm saying in society, there are people that are behaving like fools in china shops, literally, beside people that are quite vulnerable and not fearful, but fragile.
emotionally fragile. Does that make sense? I think, yeah, well said. Just let's just be mindful and find something else to talk about if it's too tentative, you know?
Yeah, I mean, certain people you can try, but my mom's 70, you know, and at this point, it would probably scare her more to be thinking about that this is, sinister what the government is doing or this and that. And she's already scared enough of, the virus. So there's no point in adding to that. Certain people, yeah, you could have, you know, discussions about it and not agree and like you said, you have to choose. Certain people can handle these discussions. Other people, they're like pulling their hair out already right now. They're freaking out. Yeah, wear gentle gloves.
Nicely put, darling. I second that 100%.
I think we forget sometimes that knowing the truth is not the same as being a good person, and that people that don't know the truth are not necessarily bad people. And so it's nice to be important, but it's more important to be nice.
Yep. Well said.
That was from Paige. That was from David's page, one of her taglines, and I fell in love with it. I'm sure she wouldn't mind me using it.
Beautiful. Shout out to David and Paige.
So, how are we doing across the realm? You're doing it's pretty Denver and Colorado is listed as like the most chill place to be. So,
Huh.
Yeah, I'm in London. That's like the polar opposite. This is like not the most chill place to be right now in the whole of England.
Yeah, they kept liquor stores open. They kept the
it's been-
cannabis dispensaries open.
when there was a federal backup on because what happened in Colorado when things, even hinted at lockdowns or things like that, everybody went, to buy guns because that's what people in Colorado do. And when the backlog for the federal clearance or whatever got back to days or whatever, they just started issuing guns without the background checks. um, they talked about not making alcohol and dispensaries um, necessary, but instead of like implementing it or whatever and saying it's done like overnight for the next day, they did it in the morning. And so, or like at the noon hour. And so by 2 o'clock that afternoon, there were blocks of people going around all the dispensaries and liquor stores. And they're like, oh, bad idea. Never mind. We'll leave that open. They, as far as parks go and that, we hear about that with people. What they've done here is to get more people outside. They've been closing off roads. So around big parks and that so more people can walk out on the streets and have more room to be outside, not on top of each other. So they've closed off things to traffic to have more. Yeah, I'll laugh out loud. Yes, all of the different special shops are still open, Dee Dee. They're considered necessary along with the gun shops and there's everything at the supermarkets. Here I know the schools are they put out at the schools nearby that they deliver meals. So if you have kids in school or if you're hungry and need meals, they have drop-off spots between 11 and 12:30 every day where you can pick up breakfast, lunch, and dinner meals that are pre-packed in that.
That's brilliant. That's brilliant. I'm still listening. I've just got to let my dog
Yeah.
out the back. Sorry,
No,
I'm
go
still
ahead and let them out
listening.
the back,
Just
but
give me
it's
2
like
seconds, guys.
I can't. Again, things are they're collecting for food drives and everything like that. They've opened up hotels for homeless and because they were closed down as far as no tourism is going on. But yeah, it's been pretty chill here. I can't complain. Considering, I mean, looking out at the rest of the world and how it is, I'm like looking around and I'm very, very grateful because it does seem, and I'm in a house with a backyard and that, so I can walk outside my backyard even. I'm grateful. I'm in a state of gratitude right now with all of this going on.
Nope, I'm right there with you. I'm grateful I can have a spot that I can have a garden and grow some food in a position where I can still be pulling a paycheck. I mean, there's people that haven't earned money in a month.
Right. And yeah,
Hey.
you have that. You have some family around. You're not in a place all by yourself where you can't leave and can't see anybody and you don't know anybody. I mean, there's so many different possibilities that
Mm.
make me more grateful for what I have.
My situation here is a little bit. It could be potentially anxious for for some people to be in the situation that I'm in, because technically I don't exist here really. My passport's out of date. None of my papers or anything are up to date. So um, I'll fall through all the cracks of any help or aid that's given, and I don't know if they're gonna do what Portugal did and say that if anybody that's here, you can either take residency or you get shipped back to your country. So I don't know if that's going to happen here, and they'll say, okay, well, you've got no passport, but it's okay. You can either be Spanish or we ship you back to England. But yeah, it's the I don't. I mean, I know a couple of people here. I know a couple of people here, but I don't really know anybody here. So I don't know where to go or who to speak to if things get dicey.
That's
What would you
serious.
do, Rich? Would you stay or return to the
I'd
UK?
say, mate, I've become Spanish.
Yeah.
I'm not going back to England. You carry me back in kicking and screaming or in a body bag.
No, what about you? Because this is something we've discussed, isn't it? That this is something that's been muted. That this forced nationalisation of you appears to be something else that's not necessarily commensurate with what we're being told going off. But because it's rather an exceptional thing, isn't it? Either stay or change your nationality. Now that to me has other. It has nothing to do with the problem at hand. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, it's something that's, I say, been muted. We've seen the Portuguese offer their liberal amnesty as you know what I mean. But without the Portuguese doing what they've done, why would they do that? What difference does it make? They don't need to nationalise you to make an edict of how they're going to treat you.
I think it's to overcome complications because of all of the immigrants that were already in from Syria and such like. There's been so much migration, refugees and such like coming over from the Middle East. I think it's basically it's to take care of that. You've got so many people in the country, in various countries and various nations with no papers.
So you're saying it's a comforting arm?
I think it's a quick fix. I think that it's like, look, oh God, trying to sort out where these people are from, and where they say they're from, where they want to live. We'll just make everybody decide. Look, I'm either the nationality of the country that I'm living in, or I go back to the place that I say I was born. Or
Right. So, Cammy, Josh, right, Zach, right? What are the? It's a little bit more simplified over there, boundary wise.
Actually,
What are
no.
you doing with the Canadians and the Mexicans? Are they? I
Okay.
can't patronise.
They closed. They've definitely people that were seeking an asylum and that they've shut that down on the Mexican border. Here, I was going to say in Colorado, something that they are doing and what that's sitting on is in particular, there's one county, Gunnison County, that is completely shut its borders and is you have to prove residency or have a reason for being in the county, and they're not letting people. You can go out, but you can't get back in without going into a quarantine or whatever. And the thing at Gunnison County, they're doing it kind of famously because the plague of 1918, they they did the exact same thing. They're in a little valley that you can cut off the passes, and they were the only county that didn't have any deaths at all in the Spanish flu. And they did it by totally cutting off that county and that valley. They have one case in it right now, but they're playing like on their history repeats itself, and we're not going to have any in our county. But I have noticed that some of the other mountain counties, they've discouraged tourism being in the county at all, and now they're really pushing that they don't. The people that go outside in the parks in Denver, they want you to stay like in your county or in your. So they are putting boundaries, and this morning they just put up like between Denver and Creek County or whatever, like they were putting boundaries that they're not letting people from the Denver area into different areas up in the mountains. So it is
I don't
getting
know where air coming.
we're getting boundaries in Colorado. So again, that's something we've never had. So that is you're very comfortable where you are, but they don't want you moving from place to place.
They've shut down the national parks here. You're not allowed to go into the Peak District, the lakes, or those sort of things. You're not allowed to go and sod off into nature. And I know, wilderness-wise, we don't have a wilderness per se. We've got a few tiny parks compared to the land masses you've got. But it's interesting that they're stopping people just getting away. You're not allowed to go camping and the likes.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's a large nomad population over here, so that would be hard to do here. There's a lot of people that live year round in state parks and national parks and the BLM land. So yeah, I don't think they could absolutely close all this stuff down without people not having it, because a lot of people they don't have like a residence anywhere. They'll have a mailbox somewhere to do their business and stuff, but that's it. I know quite a few people. I met quite a few people that do that when I was out on my walkabout. So yeah, I don't think it'd be possible to close them all down here, especially out in the Southwest.
Yeah, what they're mostly trying to do is keep people from Denver, which is considered the hot spot, just hitting into it. And the big thing is with the little mountain communities is they have a single hospital that's got just a few beds and things like that. They don't want to get stuck taking care of not their own when they're little. I'm thinking that would be. So yeah, but still overall, it's like be outside, but try to go to the parks that are local in your county.
In mine,
We're only allowed into the park for a walk and reasonable social distance
yeah.
socializing.
Unless I go to my local park. If I've got where I live, I've got like one, two. Where I used to live, Richmond Park was my local park. Where I live now, I've got like kind of recreation grounds and commons. So unless I go to like one of the three ones that are like a walking distance from my house, there's a good chance that if I get stopped, I'm just going to get in a bit of hot soapy bubble. If I'm not in one of my local parks or going to my local supermarkets, if I drive past my local supermarket and go to one outside of my borough, I'm not really sure what the outcome of that will be. I'm not sure I want to poke the bear and find out because I'm a single mum. And if I get taken
Right.
away from my children, I've got no backup. My mum passed away, and so
Yeah, and this
I
I
don't have
think
the option to do that.
I don't think it's necessary to poke the bear as much as again, I appreciate the people going out there, but I appreciate it more, Roxanne, that again with family and that provoking and trying to get yourself in jail at this point in the game is kind of silly.
hmm Yeah.
And
I
a
like that
total
you
waste
call
of
it poking the
energy.
bear. I like that you call it poking the bear as well. That's exactly how we were describing it tonight. When we were talking about these supposed protests or whatever, this gathering that's supposed to be taking place. It's just poking the bear, and it's really
Like I said, I respect people for doing whatever they need to do, even if I don't agree with it. I defend their right to do what they need to do. But
yeah,
I feel
yeah,
like it might be a
absolutely.
little bit too soon. It just might be a little bit too soon. There may be something like that that needs to happen, but I'm just not sure we're there yet. Personally, I'm not sure that we're seeing enough to take to the streets yet. Does that make sense?
Makes
You can
sense to
see that.
me.
Yeah, you can see people are worried that they're going to get shut behind their doors, and then once they're behind their doors, they're going to shut the internet off.
And I understand that there are
And
people
nobody's
that
going
get
to go.
abused. There are people that are getting abused. There are children that are getting abused. There are women and men that are in abusive relationships, and now there are people that are locked in their house with their abusers. There are people committing suicide because of it.
Yeah,
You
there
know,
are.
there's very, very real issues of safety with some people. Some children's safety comes in the form of
I
not being in the house all day.
I did see one doctor talking about the social distancing could also be causing um, illness.
Hmm.
Because of depression and anxiety
Correct.
and all this
Correct.
stuff. I mean, our bodies react to our emotions. And if your
Hmm.
emotions are all out of whack and crazy, then your body's not
Especially
going to be
for
able to
those that are
control itself
isolated
properly.
as well. Mm.
We react off each other as well. This is what a lot of people don't sort of fully appreciate, is that even people that don't even realize that they're sensitive or empathic in some way, they can be feeling emotion and not realizing that a lot of the emotion that they're feeling is actually the people around them. And so if you've got a lot of empaths and sensitive people that are all experiencing everybody around them's emotions as well, it creates a really intense situation, doesn't it?
Mm.
It does, and then I'm going to throw out a nerd one on this one, but it's been remarkably right on, especially with my husband. And I've noticed the people in my house is that if anybody looks on the space weather page, there's something called a BZ index, and when it goes to the south and is very erratic, and what that is that is the boundary between, they call it outer space, and they call it, our magnetic, the shield between us and outer space.
Okay.
I call it the shield between here and the firmament. The same difference on it, but it's healthy. When it's healthy, it's to the north. When it pulls to the south, which it's doing lately, it's a very, very weak magnetic shield, which would be a very, very thin veil, would be another way of looking at it. But when it gets very erratic and pulls to the south, everybody gets uneasy. Um, People are edgy. They don't know why. They get panicky. Birds squawk. The animals are uneasy. So if you're feeling like
Wow.
a panic attack or that, look and see what the index is doing.
Okay.
Right now, even the scale that they put it on when you click into it, I recommend the ACE settings to look at it. Is a scale that, like right now, I believe it's sitting at 0 to 6. When when it's very active, the scale will increase. So, in other words, the scale, instead of going just to 6, will go to 15, or I've seen it as high as 20. That's as high as I've seen it. And so even a good indication is if it's jumping in, the scale is up to 10, where you see 10 on the scale, I'm going to say people are probably uneasy around you. And I think knowing why you're uneasy helps sometimes.
Mm.
Sorry, that was nerd girl adding. But it does, it really, I've noticed that when it goes into the south, which it did, a few days ago, this and that, where it does, that's where, again, people are around me, and even the market was being at its edgiest.
You see, I feel that there's some kind of validity to that. I feel that that's too much of a coincidence to be, by chance. I feel that.
I agree.
I think all the frequencies that are going on, we're so intricately linked into the the biorhythm of the earth or whatever. It's everything that's going on is affecting us. I think it's getting to a point now where the frequencies are getting so, the whole earth is getting so saturated with these frequencies, the ones that as a race we're emitting with the electromagnetic radiation of cell phones and radar and all of that, and that's seeing the result of it. This is the result of that.
That happens, but there's also a lot of, again, what you would call between what they call space weather and what's going on here. Just being the space weather, just think about, they call where the sun is in space and the earth. Again, it's think of it as a little shield or bubble around it. And again, the shield gets higher and tougher or low and weak in that. And the way I learned about it, I should tell you, like the way I learned about it is I was a geek following it and trying to understand what it meant, but I had a little tab, a little like a gas gauge, a dial going and saying what it was doing at all times. At the same time, I was watching for over 10 years markets, the gold markets, the stock markets, and that were also on little tabs on there. And I started noticing a correlation between that and saying that, like, when the markets were supposed to go up for every indication and they weren't, or they were going down, we were having a heavy south, pull on this, and so pulling it out. It was something. This is something that's not new, but something I've noticed over years. I wondered why I knew, or why I was compelled to even look at. But when I looked at it, it's like, well, how could this be affecting it? It took me down a whole rabbit hole of finding out that we have little pieces of magnetite that we've grown, and there's one under our nose, there's several in our brain and throughout our body, and that we're magnetic beings, and they call it bestial on our saying that we don't use these anymore, but we do. We do sense the field around us, and we always have.
You see, it's like it's there in plain sight.
And why, again, it is in plain sight. It's like all together, and why don't we study these things, and why would this be hidden from us?
I know that last year I haven't done it. I've not done it once this year. I don't know why, and the most frustrating thing is that now I can't do it. But last year I was going up, not right up into the mountains, but I was going up high and sitting on volcanic rock, or I was going down to the sea, put my feet in the water, sitting on volcanic rock and putting my feet in the sea, in the water, and grounding myself with the earth, like
Feels good.
visualizing my own electromagnetic field, that my own torus, field, actually merging with the earth, trying to emulate, or trying to radiate the thanks that I was feeling, the gratitude for the fact that it was taking all this bad energy away from me. And within every single time, within 20 minutes, you just at absolute blissful peace. It's
Does it
Yeah,
start?
everything's right at that moment.
Everything's right, and things lose their solidity. You almost see them in
yeah,
bright colors and see it for what it is for a few minutes.
you're there. It's like you're all that matters is now. You're
Mhm.
in that moment there now, and yeah, and you're one with you're linked. And I think that I don't know. I just felt that being grateful for it as it was happening was an important thing.
It is, and seeing the beauty around. The beauty likes to be seen, like the rocks. We've asked Zach, we've polished rocks, we've,
Mm.
cleaned them. They're growing. Things are happening all around you, and it's. I think when you notice, it's just a better world all around. I think they like being noticed too. The rocks, the trees, the grass, the not in a sentient, like having a direct conversation, but just it feels the energy
Well, yeah,
and
it's just
feeds
like
off
your
of the
animal. When
energy.
you walk in the door, your dog gets real excited and happy, and 5 minutes ago it was just laying on the couch. like sleeping.
Yeah.
But as soon as you get there, it's all excited and happy, and you know they respond to us. And the
Our
fact
dogs do that,
As if
especially.
you've been gone for a year, isn't it? As if they haven't
Yeah.
seen you for a year. If you come again, you go away for 10 minutes again, come back, and they're doing exactly the same thing again.
Yeah.
Oh, ours,
I
you don't
love
even
when
have
I
to
just
leave.
go out and I
Go
forget
in and
something.
out. Yeah.
I'll forget something and have to come back from the car real quick, 20 seconds. And they're all excited and their budget's like, no, settle down, Rod. That was like, 10 seconds. It's too much. I'm going to be longer than that.
That's
But yeah,
the
they
trouble with
respond
now.
to us.
That's the trouble with now, because every time I move, because I can't take Alfie out for walks now, so every time I move, I literally, I have to just adjust myself, and his head jumps up. He's like, "We're going out now." And he looks at the door, looks at me, like, "We can't." His tail's wagging. No, Alfie, we're not going out. Nothing's changed.
Guys and gals, could I possibly ask a favor? I've got my 17-year-old almost jumping on my head, and my 12-year-old, they're like almost trying to take lumps out of each other upstairs. And it's like 12:30, and I know that I'm going to get knocked from the door from my neighbour in a minute because one's on a PlayStation, one's on an Xbox, and they're both literally going ham and nail at it upstairs. Can I leave Noel and Rich in my place and jump out? I'll try and jump back in, but I'm going to need to go and settle them.
I appreciate you
Because,
asking, but the answer is no.
Yeah.
You're just gonna have to tell them to.
Try not to need an ambulance.
We allow no mommy time here.
No, you
Oh,
go
we
take
do.
care of them.
We thrive on mommy time here, Roxanne. At least I do.
I really appreciate it, guys and gals. It's
Oh,
been great, and
no.
I'm going to try and get back on because it is Friday night, and I did want my night. I got taken down off YouTube. Kids won't settle. It's like I'm up against it. I should hopefully be back in about 20 minutes.
Yeah, get a glass of wine and get the kids
Yes.
settled and yeah, light a candle. Yeah.
Yay! Thank you, my darlings. All right, no.
Tell them to
Rich?
sort it quick, Rocks, right?
Yes,
Or you'll post a
please.
picture of the loser of the fight on YouTube. Tell them.
Oh, they know I'm prolific at doing that already. I'll take pictures anyway. I'll put them on blast. You know me. All right, guys. I'll be back in a bit.
All right.
Right.
Adios, things.
Look, one of the things Rich said there that for me is what I want you American guys is I can't take the dog for a walk anymore. Are you anywhere near that stage? And if you get there, how are you going to be?
I don't think we're near that stage. I think that they would throw a fit as far as cruelty if they tried that here to animals. As far as us personally, I have a backyard with the dog door. The dogs love the doggy door and the running in and out all day and night. So it wouldn't affect us. Not here.
Yeah, I've got the big backyard. It wouldn't necessarily affect me too. I don't usually walk my dogs. The wife sometimes will walk the dogs for exercise and try to entice me to join her because who the hell wants to watch two maniac dogs by themselves? So on occasion I'll join her and actually walk the dog, but for the most part it's out the backyard, let them run around in circles for a while. My little dog kind of stays on a leash anyway because she'll jump the fence and be gone for an hour and a half. Do God knows what. And these days, who knows? They can
I don't
open
so much
season.
mean the practicalities. I meant more the fact that if you were out just walking your dog around the block, that would be reason for the police to detain you.
Not at all.
Well, that's where we are.
Like I said, they encourage you to be outside here and getting outside and exercising that. It's been encouraged where they've blocked off streets to make more room for people to. They're like, no, there's plenty of room. We'll block off streets and everybody come on out and get exercise and sunshine and ride your bikes
And that's
so.
what they did to us first. That's stage one where they do that. They encourage everybody to go out for a daily walk here. And now they're slowly shutting that down. So no, you can't stop doing that bit, stop doing that bit. I'm intrigued as to when it hits America how there's a lot of other stuff as well, but just that bit, because I just can't see that going down in America. We've got a bit of rearing up here, but to try and control that in the States just seems. But it appears that's what they want. They really want to shut it down. This wave of the pandemic appears to be exactly coincided with social control.
Well,
and
what will be interesting, Adam, on that, and the reason it won't, what will get you as far as the Americans is the Americans in the love for the animals and that. A whole bazillion people that would say it would be cruelty to animals to deny them their regular time to walk outside and stress them out going potty inside.
What if it
And
were you? I think that's what he's saying. We can leave the animals and the pets out of it. Just you. What if you wanted to take a daily walk, but being outside taking your walk was now punishable by imprisonment or detainment?
I have a backyard. That's a hard one.
Well,
It would be so I wonder about the people like in apartments and that, because I love being in the backyard.
yeah.
There's people in the Balearics getting done for that. They're sending drones over, and anybody in a communal garden, in a communal on a communal roof terrace or anything like that, they're getting done.
Yeah, no, I don't see that going over well here.
Thing is, to be fair, I think I would have said that certainly about England. I would have said, no, people won't stand for that in England. But it seems like it's starting to happen.
Well, Adam and I were talking before the show, and one of the main differences that we have is just this sheer acreage. We've got space. There's no way you can arm enough people to police all of the people. If they all wanted to go outside, nothing they can do about it. Not a damn thing they can do about it, but sit there and watch 380 million people go outside and say, well, fuck. All right, well, that didn't work. But you can go 20 minutes and I can be 3 miles from anybody. I mean, who's going to be out there to stop me? But we've got the land to do that. We've got the space where we can get out there and find solitude and get lost in the woods. When you're stuck on a relatively small island, there's not much you can do other than submit.
There was an interesting video, Rich. Do you remember it? A couple of weeks ago in one of the townships where they were trying to contain people and make them stay in, like 8 people in a hut the size of my shed. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And the people just said no. And the police and the army, as it was, didn't know what to do because there were hundreds of people around, every 5 or 6 of them. And there'll come a point where that is the question that society's asked for me. And I didn't think a week ago I'd be looking at it's the correlations of the progressions and chatting with these guys, looking at you guys, and you're saying, yeah, this is fine. We're happy with this. Because exactly what Cammy said, they're encouraging us to go outside. It's exactly what we said 2 weeks ago. And yet now that's not being encouraged. And in fact, if you were to sit down in a park on a summer's day, you would be told to move on. And if you refused, you'd be detained. So that's worrying.
Well, they'd have to kill the internet. Again, we could organize several hundred people to come in, even on short notice, especially when measures like this start cracking down. I don't think it would be that hard.
It wouldn't be. On the other hand, with as far as the park benches and that, I think they could sell it to enough of the cities by just saying that, oh, look, COVID can survive on a park bench for 9.3 hours, or do you know what I mean? So they might be able to keep you moving. I'm trying to think what people, when you say that you can't sit, Is that how they're selling it, or because that's how they would sell it here? Is they would sell it as it living on the surface, and we're just trying to. They wouldn't sell it as we're the police and we're telling you not to sit here. They would sell it here as we're trying to help you. We're saving your life. For now.
That's exactly what they're doing here. You know, everything. We've got the general public coming out every Thursday night at 8 o'clock and applauding from their doorsteps, banging pots and pans, shaking right. You know, the public mind control, the way in which people are in the same attitude here for the masses is they're happy to give away anything. There's one thing one on this I just want to raise. Over in the UK, it's now lawful under this current climate till the state of medical emergency ceases for an officer to detain you if he thinks you're feverish, and for him to remove you from a house if he thinks you're feverish or other people are in there. That, I wonder if even how that being passed over there as an emergency power would go down. Certainly know even if it went down, well, it would go down worse. Which brave ass coppers are going into American houses under the current climate? And is that something that, whilst over here it's a fear we have, I think over there fundamentally it's an incendiary device to give the state the powers that they really want to take if we misbehave. Hey up. Sorry, guys, but
Oh, I don't even know where to go from that one. Zach, anyone?
I don't know. I don't see them trying to use forceful fear.
Your sound's a little wonky again there, Zach. I see we are joined by one Mr. Walt Johnson.
Whoa. Yay.
evening, Prof.
Hello, can y'all hear me? Because I seem to be having trouble here.
No, we got you.
I can
Oh, okay. I turned off my camera. That helped. Oh, wow. I see we have a house full.
Hells
Hello.
yeah.
Hello to the family, all the old and new. Glad to see you all here.
Roxanne says she'll try to come back. She had to put the kids to sleep. The
There we
children.
go. I'll
The
say
children.
wave. Hello. Yeah, I had a few minutes heading upstairs to get some sleep and thought, hey, it might be time. Because I checked a little earlier when I had a minute, and it looked like I was earlier. There was like 20 people in the waiting. So before I lay down, I wanted to pop in and say hello to everyone and happy Flat Friday for sure.
I do believe Rich has gone blue on his computer, so
That's
he may
which
have
one?
stalled out here. He's not really here, but he is in chat.
007, is that?
Yep.
Okay. Oh, that's the awesome guitar and music guy.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Awesome. And I think I'm also familiar with Noel something. What are you doing, Noel? How are you, my friend?
Sorry, I was muted. I am very well. Thank you for asking.
Good. Oh yeah, music. I knew something. I see it behind you now. But anyway, yeah, glad to see you guys here. I'm glad everybody's having a good day. I'm not even going to try to get in chat. The computer's acting up. I had it charging, or I need it to be charging. So it's anyway. I'm gonna.
It's good to hear your voice, Walt.
Yeah, it is.
Good to hear you guys. We've had some good days and nights, so that's a plus. Very good pluses for sure. So I thank you all for the love and the energy. It's been great, and actually having some pretty days here. Like spring has actually arrived here in the northwest corner of the states, because Oregon has hung on to winter as hard as it could. Today we had like 70. Yesterday it was 73, I think. So almost like summer. It's not Louisiana summer, but it's almost. Spring here is nice.
Yeah, we hit low 90s a couple days ago.
Holy
Yeah.
man.
Had frost this morning.
Yeah, I've been getting the weather reports every time I'm complaining about freezing to death. She's like, "Yeah, let me show you what's out here," and it's like blaring sun. So yeah, it's a different world here for sure. For sure.
Learned my way around Fahrenheit. We were 22 degrees centigrade here today. I don't know what that is in Fahrenheit.
Let me see here.
Oh, savage. We're
We were about 23,
I know what it
22,
is.
23.
take off 15.
There it is. I know it's something like that.
Or 7.
Let's see. Right now it is 44 degrees Celsius right now.
No.
Hence the shorts.
No, I'm looking at it on the phone. It's 71 R44. Oh wait, that may not be it. That may
That's
be
probably the
low
high and the
than that.
low.
That is what it is. Let me see, because I just saw another slash and thought that was it. Okay, let's find it. I know it's got to be on this app,
It's-
right?
Yeah, I'm
It's
sure you can.
1:45 in the morning here, and it's 20 degrees.
Technology.
Oh, Rich, you made it back.
Oh, hello, Rich. Glad to hear you, sir.
Oh no, I've been here. I've been here the whole time.
Oh,
Oh, really?
yeah. I've just been quiet. I've been in the chat room saying hi to some people, and yeah, I saw I've gone blue. I've gone blue in the chat room. That's what I mean. That's what I
gotcha.
said.
Yeah, computer trouble.
Yeah, that's what I meant. I've gone blue, and I've got a wrench.
All
Thank
right.
you.
How do you change this?
But yeah, it's 20 degrees here, man. Now it's really nice. It's
Come on.
beautiful.
Here we go. Nope, it will not change over. It's in this house. I have hardly any phone reception.
Everybody okay though, Walt? Yeah.
Yep.
Fair enough. Mum okay.
Yep. She's, like I said, she's had some great days and nights. We've kind of found a little balance that's keeping things steady and holding the
Breathing good,
course
yeah.
for now. And yeah, breathing good. That's what we're working on. Is keeping the breathing good. So, but like I said, it's, you know, we know where it's heading, and we definitely appreciate all the love it's helping. I've told her everyone's been sending it her way, and she definitely appreciates it. She was so active this morning. It was like, if you're this active later, I'm going to see if I can't get you on the show with me.
Oh, that would be so
It
cool.
would be great. But yeah, she's already gone down for an afternoon nap. That's why I headed up to get mine out while my sister's here. So,
And Walt, right?
hey,
Let's bring you up to speed with a relevant question.
I'm ready. Maybe.
Right. What's going to happen, right, when it's a arrestable offence if you go out for your daily Pokemon hunt?
Well, then they'll just have to take me down screaming, I got to catch them all. Yeah, man, I'm just not. I refuse. I'm not going to play these games. You know, I mean, right now I have to be in this house 24/7 with my mother, but that's the only reason I haven't been leaving here on a regular basis. I mean, I've had to make some emergency runs for stockpiling certain things I need to have here. So that's been the only 2 times since the craziness that I've left. When I got here, it was just getting to the point that like people were tripping in the airport a little bit on my way through. That was like the 8th I got here. Yeah. Last month, the 8th. And the house here had already started the bugs and wiped down everything. And then it started just getting really insane here. But it hasn't, like, you know, that's the only thing that's kept me here is Mom. It hasn't been any of that stuff. And in fact, I was just telling there in Louisiana, she got a text or an emergency alert, or let me see, let me read it real quick. There it is. Wait. Due to, oops, that's not.
What were you going to say, Rich?
I'm sorry, go ahead, man.
It's just something just crossed my mind actually. Sorry. That's why I went up because I was going to say something. I was hang on a second. It's Roxanne has noticed. Roxanne noticed something on her car today.
Oh, really?
And it seems it's come from the rain. When it's been raining, whatever's in the water has left this fibrous white these fibrous white
I've seen that before.
marks, and they were big. It's all over the car.
Right.
I've been seeing a lot
All
of
over.
people scraping their car windows and then
Yeah.
taking what was left on whatever they scraped it with and then putting a magnet to it and just watching it jump right to the magnet. Whatever it is that's
Yeah.
coming down.
Wow.
Yeah, I've seen some pretty nutty things. But what do you know, it's YouTube.
Zach, a new experiment for us. We have the magnets.
Do have the magnets.
We have the magnets.
So the alert she got on her phone was severe alert. We currently have 105 confirmed positive COVID bullshit 19 cases in our parish, county, whatever, where you live. Sadly, now 2 deaths. Encourage you to stay home, refrain from holiday gatherings if you've been tested and awaiting results, but you're absolutely going to be positive, no matter what the hell reality is about what coronavirus might possibly be. I'm just ad-libbing a bit. Extremely important you to stay home and self-isolate while you wait. Follow the physician's orders, blah, 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 blah. And she got that over her like an emergency alert over her phone today.
Huh.
Apparently it's getting nuts with the craziness in my state over there too, where I live, home.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
you
we're
got all
lucky.
those.
It's quiet.
Go ahead, Noel. Go ahead.
No, just saying it's been really chill here, which is surprising because we had just had a president ousted just a couple of months before this all kicked off, because of some stuff with the Panama Papers and some other thing and assassination possibly. It was all a bit hairy, so everyone was in a very kind of fighty spirit, and then they said go home, and it seems like mostly everyone did. It's very chill here, a little bit too chill. Feel that storm coming.
Yeah. Yeah, that needs to happen, truly, because I don't know. I just really have never seen anything. Both what I'm hearing and seeing reported on the people I trust on my Twitter line or here with YouTube people, or what's going on here with my extended family here out of state, which I don't live with, and who spend the majority of their time watching mind control. I mean, that's what they do. That's their life. That's their life. If they're not at work and they're in front of a screen of one sort or another. And they've taken it to the level of just extreme overgoing to the, I mean, there's a table set up outside. So any packages that come, which they've been ordering like lunatics. And I'm like, okay, so you're going to store up all this stuff and then what? What are you going to do? Just stay in your house forever? Is that the plan? I mean, what is the end goal here? I don't understand what y'all are trying to accomplish. And it's not, of course, it's not anything survival oriented. It's snack cakes and bullshit. It's just like they're insane with this. They've lost their mind with it. It's really overdone. I would never have believed seeing this up close, truly. Because back in my house, we'd be like outside walking and laughing at the COVIDians.
I like that.
I like that too. That's pretty good. Did I mention, Walt, that we're live streaming on Facebook and we're doing a co-video?
Well, there we go. So it was perfect.
Cool video.
So over the last maybe 3 or 4 weeks, I've just bought a couple cases of MREs, meals ready to eat, just in case. Just in case. The first case I bought, they were running like 350 calories for each MRE, which was a little bit lower than I wanted. So I stepped up a case and got some that went up to about, I think it's anywhere from 900 to 1,100 calories per. And that's pretty good, but still not quite what I was wanting. So I'm looking around, and today, finally, I found something. Oh, what the hell is it called? I just had it too. Let me go back and get it. It is an HDR. And an HDR has about 1,800 calories, closer to 2,000 calories, I think.
Like for the whole day.
Yeah, like
Each one has 2 meals, and both meals should be enough calories for one whole day. They're used for like I guess, emergency situations, I guess like Katrina. So when people are severely malnourished and they need to get those daily calories, they give them these HDRs. And I got 2 cases. Each case has 10 HDRs. I got 2 cases for about the price of a case of 12 MREs. So I think I'm doing considerably better.
That's awesome.
How did they taste?
I have no idea. I just put the order in today. Just found
What?
them today and put the order in. So they'll be here by Wednesday.
Post
Hope,
that site on the chat or somewhere in the description.
Yeah, for
hope
will.
you never need to find out what they taste like. Yeah,
Right.
Well,
our food isn't great, but it's not awful, but it's not
Yeah.
what you want to eat unless again.
Well, in Louisiana, we've had a few storms get really bad and come through to the point that the National Guard, Army, et cetera, would be literally handing them out at little setups for people to survive on. And so we've had to grab a few in our time of just getting in the wrong place, wrong time with these storms. And, they're, like you say, they're not great for sure. But in time of need, they make do.
yeah, that's why I like the high calories with 2 meals, because in a pinch, that's 2 days worth. So I could double those meals and still stretch them out. I think there's a lot to be said to having to live, at least for a while in your life, sort of on those bare bones necessities where every day is a struggle hand to mouth type of life. Because when you can learn to minimize your life and learn how to eat for fuel and not for fun, then
How little you actually need.
Yep, that's right.
That's actually interesting because, like, well, you've seen me, on my channel and briefly earlier, my camera was on, but I've lost a lot of weight. I'm very, very lean at the moment, but it's because for the last 2.5, nearly 3 years, I've been eating less and less and less, and I couldn't understand why. At first, it was I wasn't eating because I was depressed. And in the past, when I've sort of when I took antidepressants and stuff back, years ago, I took antidepressants and it lifted my mood, and I started eating again. My appetite returned, and I started eating again. In 2016, I had an experience that I maintain cured my depression, and I was expecting my appetite to return with vigor, and it didn't. And it was actually it was just the same. It was like when I was eating, every time I ate, I was tasting the same thing. I can taste it across all the food, the same flavor, and I think it's something that it's something in the preservative. It's one of the preservatives, or something or maybe a flavor enhancer that they use. And I'm tasting it. It's all I can taste, and it's putting me off all the food because everything tastes like it. So I eat absolute bare minimum, and I have done for a really long time. But I've still got the same drive. Maybe not the same physical energy. Like if I was to go out and be physical for the day, I would need to eat. I'd have to eat something. But just doing what I'm doing now, it's like my body's gone into hibernation, and it's been in hibernation for the last. I mean, I've been researching for 7 years now, so it's pretty much been in hibernation for 7 years because I haven't been socializing. I've been socially distancing for the last 7 years because of everything that I've been learning, all the research that I've been doing, and everywhere it's taken me. It's I was already a little bit ostracized from my friends and family anyway. So because I've been traveling and I've been to, lots of stuff has happened, going to prison and everything. So yeah, it's like I was saying last year, it's weird. It's like subconsciously I'm training my body to actually be able to deal with not eating, going 3 days without eating anything. I've actually not eaten anything for 2 days. I've not eaten a thing for 2 days. And I, apart from a couple of hunger pangs, like, which dealt with a milky coffee, I'm fine. I feel fine. I look like shit. I look like a drug addict. I look like a bloody crackhead or something, but I'm not. And if that's the judgment that people want to make of me when they see me, if they see me, oh God, he looks like a drug addict, and he smokes weed and that doesn't bother me because I know who I am, so I'm cool. I'm cool with that. It's an aesthetic thing. When I eat, when I'm training, when I'm training in the gym and I'm eating 3, 4, 5 times a day, when I was 14 and a half stone, packed, stacked, ripped, but it's aesthetic. It's purely aesthetic. It doesn't. The only difference it made to me as a person was it made me more of an arrogant twat. So it's not done me any harm losing losing a lot of weight. But actually now I can go for 2 days without eating. So, and when I do eat, it'll just be I'll have a sandwich, and then I won't eat for another day, and I'll be okay.
Oh, you wouldn't make it at
I
my
eat,
house.
I,
You would.
I eat when I need it. I eat
Uh,
when I need it, basically.
yeah, while this is going on and being in the house with all boys, I like instinctively spend the day cooking. And so, yeah, we got tacos going on. We got brownies going on. We have,
Oh, I've got
the
to say,
bagel
when you were talking
sandwiches
about
and
your
the.
tacos, Cammy, I love tacos, man. I do love tacos. That did make my stomach rumble a little bit when I was thinking about your tacos.
So yeah, we've not been shy about the eating at this house. And my son is even has a friend over today, where instead of playing against each other on the computer from a house across the neighborhood, they're actually not talking to each other in the same room and playing on the computer. So, but yeah, boys and food, different universe where you're not eating.
I used to eat so much. I used to eat so much. I was a bottomless pit. I was in Norway in 2010. No, 2011, sorry. I was in Norway for like 3 or 4 months doing ice driving, and we were teaching people how to rally drive, basically on the frozen lakes, and then there was a forest stage that people did on the third day of the course. And while we were out there, we were getting taken out to eat every night by the corporate clients, and we were taken to the best restaurants. In We were staying in Yalo in Norway, and we went to one, and it had um, the top chef in Norway was in there, and he cooked all this steak and stuff. They started calling me the dustbin because at the end of the meal, every meal, it didn't seem to matter how many of us were sat there. We were sat there, there were 12 of us one night, sat there in a Chinese restaurant, and all the food that was left on the table at the end, I worked my way from one end of the table to the other, and I ate a lot. I felt ill at the end of it. I was bloated at the end of it. But that was the thing. I could just eat and eat and eat because I was doing a lot of physical work when I was out there. Like, I was changing the tires and stuff, and I was out in the rescue, in the rescue Toyota um, rescue truck. Pulling the cars out from the snowdrifts, putting the changing the tires over in between the races and stuff, and it was a very physically demanding job. So I think I was burning all those calories. I'll tell you what, though, at the end of it, I put on a stone and a half of pure muscle. So I'm quite lucky in that respect. I've got quite a fast metabolism, so I don't ever put any fat on. Only either it turns into muscle or it just gets burnt and shot away.
Yeah, I never put on any weight. I think I just graze away. I'm cooking all of the time, and so fun to do. But I don't know, just being in the know and all the different good foods. It's a good thing to do with family around. It's a good thing to share.
Yeah,
I'd echo the latter. I mean, I was a right fat lad when certainly when I was 17, 18. I was like 17 and a half stone when I was 18, 19. But
how tall are you?
thanks, what, 6'2", but thanks to
Oh,
the
well, that's okay then.
in the early 90s, I trimmed that off. But I've also, and I've always been then lean down to about 14 stone, and I'd say it's 6'2". But I've gone down to 13. I've been there for the last 3 or 4 years, but I'm probably now 12 and 3/4. Still perfectly happy, no function, doesn't, but I'm the same, Rich. I now eat when I'm hungry. If my body, if Marie's cooking a lovely meal, if we're going out, of course I enjoy it. And to be honest, I probably gorge more if it's an event than I ever did. But it's odd. I generally eat when I'm hungry, and not certainly during the days and all that. Now it is a matter of, as you say, sustenance rather than pleasure. I still have a nice meal every now and again, but I think I don't know. It is a mentality change a little bit in terms of how you, because food. I don't know. Like I say, I was a big lad. I used to eat all the time.
Well, I'll be honest. I think it seems to me that by society's standards, I'm probably malnourished and stuff, but I used to think that I'd nearly die, if I was to go for 3 years just surviving on next to nothing. That it really wouldn't be good for me as a person. But I really don't see, other than aesthetically, my appearance. There doesn't seem to be anything wrong with me, as my being. I'm not depressed. I sorted that out in 2016, and I don't get tired or lethargic, or I'm up for probably 20 hours a day. I'm awake for 20 hours a day because I don't sleep for very long. So I think it was a lie. Having to eat 3 times a day. That was my point. Is that I think it was a lie to keep us, to make us overweight and lethargic and not as effective, um, not as effective as we could be, because being lean isn't a bad thing, man. If you look at the animals, you look in the animal kingdom, how many muscle-bound animals do you see in the kingdom? In the animal kingdom, like unnecessarily muscle-bound. You don't see chimps and gorillas out there pumping iron.
They are pretty hench, though.
Taking protein supplements. You can understand that their muscles are their muscles are as big as they are because they're swinging around in trees. They're holding their body. They are quite heavy animals. They're holding their body weight in trees. So it makes sense that they'd have the strength that they do in their arms. That makes total sense. It's not a.
It is the ape equivalent of going down the bookies and putting 10 on a horse, right? Going for a little swing.
So,
It is like the ape equivalent of going for a walk and buying fags, swinging around in trees.
yeah, exactly.
That's their gym time. I mean, they're pretty hench. Adam, very quick, did you paste this humanitarian daily rations MRE HDR thing because of the insane priority mail shipping price attached to it?
Nope, I posted it because I just bought 2 cases of it. And those 2 cases are about the same price that I paid for 1 case of MREs.
Wow, but did you see the shipping?
Oh, yeah.
I don't know what it is to you, but it's more than twice the price of the.
Well, that could be to where it's, I don't know.
To Malta.
That could be because you're coming up as Malta, so it's just that's
Yeah.
where it's shipping to, maybe.
But it cannot cost that much money to ship something that small.
Well,
it's not possible.
2 full cases. I think it's like 30 pounds each. I don't know.
What at £30?
I think so. It's a good sized case. Yeah, there's some weight to it.
That's what 14 kilos. Still $120. Wow. Well, I'm amazed. I won't be getting any of those, I don't think, unless the Italians make them.
You're
Well,
better off
Christ.
ordering some pot noodles and Monster Munch.
Dee dropped a link with some French ones that are apparently a little tastier.
Yep,
so
I was gonna say.
might
Of
try
course.
that. Oh,
We've got some
well,
garlic.
guys, it was great hanging out for a few. Really am glad I needed the energy. I appreciate it. I love you all. I appreciate it all. Chat, love you guys. Big hugs to everybody. I will check back in. Let you all know as I know.
Give your mom a big hug for me too, heart to heart.
Definitely. Absolutely, my friend. Thank
Big,
you all.
big hug to you from me, Walt.
Thank you, lady. Love you.
Perfect.
That's my friend. See you soon.
Love you, Adam. Thank you, man. Love you, Zach. Love you too, Noel.
Thank
Good
you.
night, man.
Thank you, brother.
Thank
I
you, man.
forgot your name. My bad.
Great.
Richie.
Yeah.
Richie, take care,
really-
man.
I want to get to know you better, man. I love your tune, so we need to jam sometime.
Well, we need you to lay a track down when
That's
you get
it.
the
I
chance.
definitely will. I'm already
If
pumped
nothing
up.
else.
I'm pumped up.
Well, I was thinking about this, and you know, maybe you should just send one of your selected pre-records. I think it would go down well.
They're
One of
so
your-
horribly. They were just old, bad phone recordings on a bar. I wish I could do something better. So my brother's got a nice little setup. Actually, he's got a really good mic. So we might do something to
Get it.
vent.
Yeah.
Get a little venting done. So yeah.
Good.
He actually has a wonderful voice too. He just is not the big stage dude.
Just get him a tambourine, put him in the background.
That's
He'll
it.
be
That's
fine.
it. That's it. I'll have him in the back. So, but thank you all. Love you all. I will check back in and let you know. You all know what's going on.
Sounds
Give
good.
us a call after the weekend, Walt.
Absolutely.
Or give us a call this weekend too. Whatever's
That
good.
too. All right.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bless, bro. Well, so can I just? I know we're getting late, but I did want to cover something, or I'm going to get some grief, Josh, because
Is it moonlight?
Yeah, he rang me. It was both points. Please mention his Ménage à Trois with Barlow and Ashley. But there was something, a shitload. I think absolutely brilliant that Riley's put out. Probably the best optical visual thing for people to see. Not the best empirical, but it's only number one there. It's only a number one there. It's mine. It's all mine. But I think actually to look at and to really wreck the heads of those.
Ballers.
Yes. Well, not just ballers. Do you know what I mean? It's not necessarily, but yeah, ballers. But can I share screen, Mr. Corey?
Oh, hell yeah, you can.
Thank you, sir. All right. So
Has everyone seen this?
Nope.
It's 4 minutes. It's really
Great.
Have
good.
you?
I have, Cammy. Yeah. It's. I'll press play anyway. Tell me if you can't hear the sound.
It's muted, so we probably won't.
Oh, shite the bed.
All right, you're good.
Right, so as you can see, I've got a shoebox lid and in the shoebox lid I've cut out 3 holes to create a triangle unique shape. And the idea is to prove that the moonlight that's passing through it from behind is going to pass through there, create a triangle shape on the back plate, which is checker plate, painted black. It's 1/4 inch thick steel for lifting motorbikes up. It's thick, it's got a resistance against light and temperature. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to show on here, as you can see the 3 thingies there. Temperature, this thing's about 7.3 degrees. Go to the checker plate, and there you see, on the back plate there, you can see that is specifically colder. So the outside of it is 8 degrees. It's been outside for about 20 minutes, half an hour. I move to this bit here, 7 degrees. Move off it, 7.6 degrees. 6.6 degrees. It's clearly the moonlight passing through them triangle is evidently cooler.
That is really good.
Right, take 2. So, speaking to my peers, and my peers have said, what I need to do is I need to have this edge on the right. I don't want to touch it, and I don't want to get too close to it. But this right hand side of the edge needs to be exposed directly to the moonlight to give me a baseline. So as we can see, the baseline's coming in at 8.5. And then if I move, hopefully this is going to show that the bit that's here around this side is 9.2 degrees Celsius. And then if I can get it into one of these circles, 8.3, 8.4, 8. Looks like it's... Turn that light off. It's so difficult to get in there, right? So it looks like it's about 8.4, and then compare that to there, which is also 8.4, 8.5, and you can clearly see that the shade that's being cast by the box is 9.2, and there's the triangle. So I'm going to confirm that moonlight is colder than shade. You're looking at the proof. So look at how I've done it. I've got a shoebox lid with a spacer so that there's no way that there's any heat being exposed from the shoebox lid. Shoebox lid is about 8 degrees. So this side of the thing is also, the moon's moving around, you see, because the moon's moving, it's casting a shadow on the edge there now. So I'm losing it. Oh, it's still there. Yeah, so I'm losing it though because the moon's moving. There's no doubts about it. My setup here shows that if I allow the moonlight to pass through them 3 holes in the shape of a triangle, what do you know? There is the cooling effect of the moon. And I've got sufficient proximity differential between the two. There's no way any radiating... I wonder if I can do it from behind.
That's good stuff. Exactly, no. Exactly.
I watched it yesterday. I was really impressed by it.
Savage would be having a fit right now.
That's awesome, isn't it?
John Savage.
I love the way the cool spot moves, Zach, with the rate of which the moon's moving as well. I was demonstrating that, and how his control zone disappears because the bloody shadow it encompasses it. So even the bit that was frustrating is great additional evidence. Yeah, shout out, Riley. Really good. The only way back there is for me to deny the technology. And I said this the night, Northern Nights. Where do you go to say that no, moonlight isn't cold from there? It's hard. The only place is to say no, that the phone app's bollocks. Yet somehow it produced those 3 dots.
Well, I've never seen one that said that it wasn't
I think we need to do some with the new moon. See if there's any. Well, no, because it would be out during the sun.
Exactly. Your new moon and your again a small crescent is going. You're going to be influenced by sunlight too much, and so until you get past a half moon, um, you're not going to have a good enough control on that. But again, if there's been so many different cold moonlight tests, and what I did like that me and Zach did together is we did a hologram emitter test where we put ice in a natural analog hologram emitter, and the ice did the hologram itself was colder, and the area around it was colder, and that so I thought it was really interesting to on the different things. That light can be cold is no surprise to me. You think of light as fire, and there's all the fluorescent lighting spectrum that is cool lighting, not hot lighting. And so I don't know, looking for again a cool source, fluorescence. Fluorescence works stronger when it's cold. So the fact that we get a cool light doesn't surprise me. I think it's just something to look more into and makes you more curious. So many different answers.
So many questions.
I feel childish when I see stuff like that. Like I feel like a child, like that sense of wonder at things that you have when you probably watch Disney or some terrible crap like that for the first time. Like I get that about the real world now.
Mm-hmm.
I try to live in that state. It's hard to stay there, but I really try to. It's really easy to go there though when you're looking at the moon and all of the different possibilities and how it all might work. My favorite topic of all times.
We know that.
Everybody's got to have a geek area.
I just want to say, that's not science. What we saw there, there's no.
I'll control the moon.
Yeah, you can't turn that moonlight up and down and vary that temperature. So, what it is, to quote Bob Cami, is a great addition to the preponderance of evidence. I mean, logically, there's no denying it, but I don't think it's scientific proof moonlight is cold. But oh man, seriously, what's that? No.
The damn impressive presentation is what that is.
Well, it's not any of those things you're arguing, but in a moving forward area, I mean, I've taken a digital thermometer myself out and have tested, and I've gotten cooler. So many different people have. I have no reason to believe that the moonlight wouldn't be cooler. Again, I don't see light as always having heat, and so to me, it's just an identifying characteristic of what the moon might actually be. It's helpful information, not. I mean, and beautiful, helpful information. There are so many different sources of, again, a cold lighting, and it takes you in a direction to go into. So, I don't know. I love all of that stuff. I like the experiments and the testing. Makes me happy.
Yeah,
You're right.
it's like the long distance. It's like the long distance testing. I don't go and watch the videos that much anymore, but I love that people are still doing it because there are a lot of people that haven't seen all this stuff. And the more that are out there, the more chance it is people are going to see it. So I'm all for people doing it, but 5 years in now, it's certain topics I just don't get into as much anymore because I mean we spent years with it.
We did, but on the other hand,
I love that people are still doing it. Keep on, hashtag test it.
Hashtag test it though, because some of the testing part is the feeling that you get when you're testing it and you feel it yourself. And again, that's something that can't be replicated no matter how many videos you watch, is being out at midnight, with the moonlight and feeling, the breeze and getting the curiosity and the feeling of doing it yourself. So the people making the videos right now are experiencing it that themselves, but it's something I don't think should ever end. I think again, just to stop and look around you and where you live and see it through fresh eyes and real eyes. It's so important, and especially
And yeah,
now.
that's a great. I mean, what did he use? A shoebox lid and something behind it and his phone. You can do that anywhere. You could be at the beach with your buddies and be like, "Hey guys, check this out."
Did you know moonlight's colder than, you know?
If you look at the other data in that, Zach, like the shoebox, when it reshines the scope on it is the 8-degree mark. But because he's got steel plate, which is going to conduct thermally, and in this case, the moonlight's hitting, those 3 spots are hitting, and as they move, the resident heat differential, which means the actual rest of the plate's warmer, because it's metal, quickly warms up the other area. So you see the 3 dots move, which is a real good exemplifier. How it's a instant cooling, how it's constantly having a small but noticeable instant effect. And as that shadow goes, it doesn't leave a trail, which is, I think, due to the thermal conductivity of the metal plate that it's shining on. I said, but it was noticeable
You can
again.
definitely see it there. Yeah, it's very noticeable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the fact that the cardboard box stays at the 8, I think there's a lot of data in there that's worth further scrutiny, because it really adds validity to the claim. Because it's say visually, it's fantastic. I think
it's something you could show somebody pretty much anywhere. You could drive around with those in the back of your trunk, steel plate in the top of and you always have your phone on.
How do you
these little things that you could show people anywhere that I love. The long distance, looking out, stuff like this, where we can just say, hey, what's going on here? This makes no sense in what we're told. Yeah, some people you can't go at them with flattery. You can't say that. You just ask them questions.
It's most people, I think.
Yeah, a lot of people are like that.
We've been trained to respond to that phrase.
Mm-hmm. So many things we've been trained. And I think that's one of the reasons why they do some of those tests. They'll say a word and you respond with what you're thinking. It's like they're taking data on how well their programming is going.
Your mic sounds a bit like you're traveling backwards through time towards the dawn of radio.
Cami, can I ask you to address chat a sec? Underground's talking about Rife machines. Now, they can work, but one of them costs around 20 grand. I know.
I don't think it was 20 grand. Wasn't near that at all. I know that we do have a Rife machine, and where is
400?
2400. And where is the question for the Rife machine?
It's just in chat, just scroll. It's Lunderground.
Uh-huh.
So he's talking about stuff, but he's talking about Rife machines. And I know you guys, and Zach's played with it and all.
We have a Rife machine which works on the theory or the that if you to give you a visual, like when you hit that high C and you break the glass, that each different like virus or bacteria has a certain frequency that it will shatter at that will disturb that and not other things around it. I do know that we've had the Rife for years and years now, and we've pulled it out and have used it on different things, and it's worked remarkably well. Surprisingly, I mean, shockingly well. And anytime we've pulled it out, we've been really pleased. So, like my migraine headaches was the one area that didn't seem to like have a thing on it, but at the time I was under a lot of stress, so it's hard to again say what does it. But as far as healing on different things like that and having different areas heal quickly, it's been remarkable. Can they help with healing bones and teeth? I would think so. I wouldn't know. I'm not a doctor myself, but my personal opinion would be it would be worth a shot.
Yeah, I'll go look up the clip here in a sec.
I know my husband has dropped a link into it in the chat, I believe. Click into it.
I mean, 24.
Yes. A 20 megahertz sweep function generator, exactly. So, yeah, that's what we have at the house, and Bob is in charge of running it. It seems pretty simple. It has different where you can run frequencies if you want, but you also have different sweeps where for different things. If you were like saying, I have a common cold and I want to fight this, like put in coronavirus, it would give you a list of frequencies and you would, it's already set up in a subset. You would, it's already programmed to um, play all of the different ones and we'll tell you at what intervals, to be on for 5 minutes, off for 5 minutes, or,
Yeah,
and
they'll
how many
hit
times
you
a
with
day.
like it'll be a half hour, but it'll be 5 minutes of each frequency. It'll hit you with 5 minutes of this frequency, and then jump to another one, and it'll do it for so many cycles of different frequencies. And you do that every other day for 3 sessions. And I did the detox one, and I did see effects, like health effects, very lethargic when it was all over with. Like the day after, I fasted a little bit. I drank a lot of water. And then at the beginning, I was, my urine was clear. And at the end, still drinking nothing but water. It was like a dark, it like sank to the bottom. And I felt like I'd just gotten over a cold. It was weird. But yeah, it definitely did something. At first, the first couple of days, I didn't really notice until after the second one. And then I noticed a little bit of coloration. And
Yeah, Zach, you're a little bit muffly again. If you can put your face closer to your microphone.
it's like right up here.
Better now.
Put the tortilla down.
It's not tortilla. The tortillas are for the Mexican hamburgers, which might be tomorrow night with the green chili and that. This is Taco Tuesday. You're messing them up here. The tortillas are for something entirely different. We have taco shells today.
So,
Don't be messing with this.
yeah, I forgot it was Taco Tuesday Friday.
It's Taco Tuesday Friday. A good batch of tacos today. Bob can attest. He was down here doing the taco thing. Taco Friday. Yep.
With that Rife machine, Cammy, would it? You're saying it's got this. That would imply viruses have a setting, have a frequency, which would imply they have a or whatever. But it would suggest there's something it's acting upon if it's got that claim and that benefit.
Indeed.
Well, it doesn't say anything about teeth in here, but it does say there are a few different things for bone. Bone regeneration, if you have fractures, spurs, things like that. There's different. That's a very low frequency, it says. But nothing on teeth in this book. But then again, there are people playing around with these and doing all kinds of testing. And they do have websites that you can go to that'll have all new frequencies that are for different things. So as they're learning about it, people are sharing with each other.
If you think about that, Zach, then it's a bit like an RSO. It's a kind of cellular activation frequency. That would make more sense to me, which if you were to poo-poo viruses as a physical entity, unlike bacteria, which I think Rife was one of the first to visualize properly in detail. If you were to view that from the virology from that point of view, that would actually make sense, because if all you're saying is that what we consider viruses is the cell that's pumping out a negative protein, and we can get rid of the viral effects by a frequency that realigns the cell. That's quite interesting, I think, in terms of.
Yeah, and this was like huge news back in the 30s when he discovered all this stuff. I mean, they had big banquet, the dinner to end all diseases, they called it. And
isn't the him
modern medicine wasn't
exploding
going to allow it.
exploding bacterial cells under a microscope and stuff back in the day and stuff?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, so there's
And
all
his
that.
greatest advantage, he could look at things. He created his own microscopes that were far beyond anything that we can do with lenses today.
This is sorry. This is Royal Rife.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, and that was his thing. He could look at the actual organism, he could look at and hit it with the frequency and watch it happen right in front of his eyes. So that's how they were able to fine tune it in. Okay, this doesn't hurt the human body, but it hurts this. Okay, this is a frequency we'll, look into more. And Cami knows, even after so many years of looking into a microscope, you can do it for 18 hours a day, maybe at first, once you build your eye strength up. But after years and years and years, you get down to only a couple hours a day where your eyes actually can work and focus at that level.
It's hard. I work to microscope and loop every day, day on, day out, and it takes a toll on your eyes as you get old. Your eyes definitely lose the focusing ability, and doing that type of work, yeah, you lose the amount of time for sure. Can tell you firsthand.
Having that problem right now.
I think it's interesting, the Rife stuff, because it doesn't support either way in terms of the frequency. It could just be helping the cell and deactivate it, but I think it. I don't know what I think, do I? Otherwise, I'll be able to finish a sentence.
Well, we need to get you a Rife machine, but one with the tube that shoots the rays, and one of those Rife microscopes.
Be Ray.
I think post-event, that could be a good purchase, that.
Yeah, finding one of those microscopes is impossible now. There's only a couple left, and they're in museums, I believe. Maybe one or two are in private collections, private owners. Yeah, they really gave him the runaround. When he was just getting ready to start mass producing his machines, not so much the microscopes, but the actual Rife machines, he started getting dragged through court and turned to alcohol, and that's pretty much the end of the story there. It went downhill from there, and now most people have never heard of it. The common person's never heard of him or this machine that should have changed the world.
Yeah, it's not going to, at this point, let it change the world because it's not dependent on pharmaceuticals. So, and it's a technology that's not all that expensive, and so it would not be a financially productive solution. I'm sorry to say.
I think it's probably more sinister than that, Cammy. Fundamentally, it's a different way of viewing therapeutics from any perspective. It's a fundamental different way of treating cellular dysfunction. It's not pharmacological in any way.
It almost reminds me of alchemy. The ancient Egyptians, they say, history, but they used to give you a medicine and an incantation or a lyric, a song, something like that, to sing right before you take the medicine. Using that frequency, that harmony, to kind of add to it almost. And I don't think they want us even contemplating that as being a possibility anymore. You know, they want us not looking. It's like magnetism, magnets, stuff like that. They don't want us playing with them and looking into them. They don't teach us about that stuff in school when we're young. Yeah, I
They
think it's
should.
part of the hidden, the occulted.
And when you sit there and say, why should they teach you those things in school? Like magnets, for instance, if you take your seeds and you expose them for what, as little as 15 minutes, but even 40 minutes to fully condition them to the southern pole of a magnet, you're going to get how much more growth out of them. And people were saying 100% sprouting. And Zach, tell me some of the magnetic things on seeds even. I mean, this stuff is amazing.
Yeah, THC Anthony has done some really cool stuff showing how magnetic polarities affect seeds, their germination percentage. And he'll get 100%. He actually, go check out his videos, but he puts I forget how, 250 milliliters of water and 2 milliliters of hydrogen peroxide. And it does something to the seed. He's been really playing, he dabbles with hemp seeds for his hemp farm. Yeah, he was getting 100% germination rate. And the seed, and just the sprouts were so much more healthier and vibrant right away and grew so much faster. Really interesting stuff. But it's stuff like that, yeah, that they're hiding. Just little easy stuff like that you can do at your house.
Things that
we've done. They don't want us to know.
Yeah, things that we've done at our house, and something I want to show Zach and do it again is we did this last time, though I think we can do it with regular distilled. Last time we did it with energized water, and we had a couple different 5-gallon jugs of energized water. And on one of the jugs, we put headphones on, and we played Holy Harmony, which is a CD of Solfeggio tones, and playing the Holy Harmony and leaving it on there in the sunlight. I think we had it running for 24 hours or that. We did water tests. It produced the sweetest water you've ever tasted. I mean, it's like the water, like having the headphones and hearing the music would be the only way to explain it. But it had a sweetness to it that we did blind taste tests on people, and people could taste the difference. Little things that don't cost any money, but make all the difference in the world.
I've seen a lot of stuff with regards to germination and nothing to do with Anthony stuff, just like gardeners using magnets under trays to benefit, as Zach was saying, germination rate. Just doing a little Google search. There's tons of stuff actually.
And tons of stuff to learn. I mean, Farmer's Almanac knew it in the different things, but I know that when they were doing litmus testing, that under different celestial alignments, different elements grew differently at different rates on litmus papers. So, for instance, when Mercury was present, Mercury actually grew at a faster rate, produced itself quicker, doing it growing on a litmus paper and doing it. Would have so much to learn about if you grew things under the right conditions, how much better they might grow. On looking at things a whole different way. I'll get off my tangent as I'm serving tacos while talking.
And you've done it again. Now I'm hungry.
I've done it again. I've shut everybody up, and yeah, Taco Tuesday.
Do you guys play your music at 432?
Oh, hurts. I have done it. I'm unaware of a difference other than it sounding slightly slower pitched.
Yeah, the 440, the strings just feel too tight to me. I always feel like I'm going to break that bottom E when I try to tune it to 440.
Yeah, with the guitar, I've noticed that as well. I don't really buy into the whole thing, but guitar feels nicer at 432.
Yeah, I've always done my guitar at 432. It feels right, and the sound isn't that much different. You know, you can tell what notes you're playing.
Mm-hmm. Double, do you? You still there? Rich? No, he's not there. Maybe walking a dog. I don't know. Do you?
I'm muted. I'm sat here chatting away, and I'm bloody muted. Yeah, so I don't know. The funny thing is that I can tune my guitar by ear to 432.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how I did it naturally. Whenever I'd go play with one of my buddies, he'd always grab my guitar and start tuning it up to 440. But yeah, just naturally, it's right where that note hits, you know, that sweet spot for the first time. I mean, it's almost like you feel you don't have to go any higher than that. But that note is ringing true right there. I don't know. I'm a big fan of not changing my guitar strings, just for the fact that I hate tuning my guitar.
Yeah,
I love when
restringing
they
is a
get nice
pain.
and old, and they just stay there, and you don't have to tune them too much anymore. And you might have to tweak one here or there, but they get nice and settled.
Well, very nice. I'm excited for Zach to pull out the guitar again. Zach is time to start coming out and playing more. On that note, I think I'm going to say goodnight to everybody just because I've had the headphones on now about 3 hours, and that's about my limit of having my head pinched.
Rookies.
I know, total Ricky. But I'll be still watching in the chat and listening and everything. But I love to everybody. Happy Friday. Thanks for allowing me to take part in this. And talk to everybody if not before Wednesday.
Sounds
See
good,
you,
Kimmy.
Karen, mate.
Love you
Sorry.
much. It's all right. Give your best to everybody there in the household.
Will do. Sit next to Bob right now and getting ready for another round of tacos. So y'all take care.
Well, Cammy, whilst
Yeah.
you're having that taco, just think about the duet.
I will. You think about what song would feature somebody with a really bad voice, and I'm in.
You heard me. My God.
Fairy Tale of New York.
I look forward to hearing Bob then, if he
Yeah,
has
well,
the voice of an angel.
he does, and we'll try to think of just the right song for me. I guess if you find the right material, you can do it. So, everybody think of like what would be
It'd have to be
a good
Flying
song
Without
for somebody
Wings.
that sounds awful, like somebody's
I've got
Islands
it.
in the Stream. Kenny
Minna.
Rogers and Dolly Parton, Islands in the Stream.
That was what came to my mind too,
Islands
Rich.
in the
Sorry.
Stream.
That's the first thing that popped into my brain was Islands in the Stream.
I don't think so.
Not somewhere in between. Down we belong.
You guys are doing it so good.
But see, one of you can go minna, and the other one can go do do do.
I should
It's perfect.
Ruffle them out. I
got
could
it.
put the the microphone on Bob and have him like sing my part real deep. So, but on that note, you guys have a happy Friday. I love y'all.
Love you, Kimmy.
Much
Bye-bye.
love, Cammy. Nice to meet you. Bye.
Nice to
Bye,
meet
Cammy.
you. Talk again soon.
Okay.
Well, we are coming up, Josh.
Yeah.
Are we?
We are coming up to the threes. I've found it. I've found the video of Double O's.
Oh, mate, I should have sent it to you, shouldn't I?
Well, you could, but I pimped it out on YouTube anyway.
Sorry, dude. I didn't think to do that. I wasn't being difficult. I just didn't. I thought you already had it. Maybe I thought you were that you already had.
No, I didn't have a direct thing, but I've got it on YouTube from or it's on Rox's channel here at the end of one of your Englishman
Do you want me to just send you a link?
Sessions.
Do you want me to just send you a link to the video?
No, it should be all right. It's good through YouTube, isn't it? So it's fine.
Yeah. Okay.
Good. So, but no, Josh, I've got as an ending instead of gravity, which is unusual for us to be that prepared. To be fair. So.
Don't keep me in suspense.
I know you, mate.
What was that, Mumbles?
I said, don't keep me in suspense.
It's really good, this tune. Rich, describe it. Describe the formation, because it's
got a slightly big band feel to it because of the brass section. It's basically it's talking about the situation now as it is, where we are now in reality, and who do you want? It's sort of saying, who do you want to be? This is what I take it. This is what I take it as. Obviously, the Astral Thief wrote the lyrics, so it's his song in that respect. The lyrics are his. But the way I feel it is, it's looking at the state of the world now and what we should. What are you? Are you a victor or a victim? Are you somebody that things keep happening to, or do are you the master of your own destiny and all that? Do you know what I mean? Because we're in a victim. Everybody's been put into this victim mentality that everything's happening to us. We're getting attacked on all sides by the government, the pharmaceutical companies, and the everything. And the reality of it is that we can actually take a lot more control of our lives. We can take a lot more control of our own realities than we currently have. So we don't need to be victims.
we have to make sure we're not in the upcoming time.
And it talks about love as well. Although, I think that just that bit just comes out to me more. I don't know if other people will notice that. So I just realised it's only one. There's like one line in a verse talking about love. Some people can love, and others can only try. They pretend to. They can only try and love or pretend to love. Talking about sociopaths.
Josh and I were kind of talking about this morning.
Yeah, Zach and I were talking about that this morning.
Next Tuesday. It's like he's getting mugged off he's getting taken away. Say again, bro.
I don't know what's going on. This is so weird.
That's good.
That's better. Still sounds like you've got a glass jar around your head, on top of your head. You're speaking through a glass jar or something.
Yeah, I have the headset like off my ear, right in front of my mouth.
You know what I reckon? Get a new mic before lockdown. Before Amazon's lockdown, mate.
Yeah, man.
Weird.
We've just been talking about microphones in the chat room, actually.
we've had. I don't. Have you guys had loads of internet issues? Oh, Josh, actually, forget that. 2 days ago, right? All the power, right? Or beginning of the week, a nice 5G tower went up, literally 100 yards down the road from the shop, and then like I said, two days ago, all the power went off during the middle of the day for about 3 or 4 seconds, then came back on, and then within half an hour, going, oh, look at that. My 5G phone's got a 5G connection right now. Odd that you have to completely disconnect. I mean, it might not be odd, but just a coincidence I noticed.
That's a little creepy.
It was quite funny. I'm not overly 5G'd, but, you know, I thought that was an coincidence.
The way they've gone against the whole 5G thing, I mean, I wasn't exactly on the fence. I've been very suspicious of it for a while, just because it's connections with military tech and what have you. But the way they've gone against it is the same way that they've gone against other things, like 9/11, Truth Movement, Flat Earth, things like that. A very defensive stance.
I was listening to Nathan the other day, and all of this is smoke and mirrors, isn't it? But he said something, and it really is for me. All of this, whether we're getting microwaved, brain fried, or it could take me down with a ray that looks like coronavirus. Once all this network goes up, as I carry my mark of my beast, my phone around with me, they have real-time tracking of every single one of us, is the reality. And once that data's there for a couple of years, that's what's really worrying.
Yeah.
Even when I go for a shit, they'll know. Because I do take my phone with me. No, I don't know about you. I find it quite useful. But do you get me? I might just... That's the real implication for the 5G for me, that it gives that fully
Knowing when everyone takes a shit.
Orwellian control or oversight.
Yeah,
You have taken 2 poos today. You should leave the bathroom.
Yeah, Citizen 4287, you have spent more than your allotted time in the bathroom zone. Please move on. Quite promptly.
Well, you figure coughing or sneezing, I heard, could spread that which they call viruses up to 27 feet. So then it makes you wonder, what the hell's a 6-foot social distance for? If only to keep our phones separate so that we know exactly who's who and where they are.
Oh, you I love it. That's genius, isn't it? Please keep a clear signal distance.
And this is why Google has given all of our location data to the government. It's plural, to pretty much anybody and everybody who asks for it. Here you go. Just take it. They're not doing anything with it. This is where they are and who they are. Creepy stuff.
It's very creepy.
Well, I suppose we could call it. It is rolling up here real soon.
I'm not getting rid of my phone though, Josh. Yeah, well, let's play the tune, because about there.
Yeah.
Do it.
Give it a preamble.
Preamble?
Yeah, that was just me mumbling. I didn't really say anything.
Sounded like the parents in Peanuts.
So we just lead out on intonations then.
What the fucking hell's going on in here?
That's Stephen Hawking. Once you get him started, that dude never shuts up.
Once you got him off, mate, honestly.
Oh, have you heard Noel's Stephen Hawking?
No, I'm not doing that.
But
we're not going through. But wait, are we? Do I have an effect on my voice right now?
Yes, you do.
I do. Am I going high pitched?
A little bit.
No.
No, I don't think it's working. So yeah, it's not. It's not. Because I couldn't get the system working on Zoom like I was on the other one. Do my Hawking. I'll have to do it with my real voice. No, I don't think it'd be very impressive.
You do it like that, no? Can't do it.
I could do a pretty good Marge Simpson.
Huh?
I could do a pretty good Marge Simpson in my day.
Damn, that is good.
Wow.
That was pretty good.
Homie, you want snuggles?
Wow.
Say, I don't really touch the alcohol.
I don't really touch the alcohol.
right, Josh, get us out of here. Let's play a tune.
You got the music.
Before we shoot, though,
that sounded like multiple effects. I'm not sure how in the hell I did that.
I might have a reverb. I don't think this is working. Very annoying.
Yeah, we can do this. Nope. I don't know what that. Try that. Nope.
Help! I'm in Elephantus's basement.
That's weird.
So playing as I don't got no effects panel or nothing on my desk here. All I got this little it's like a dial. I turn it to the right and I go more, you know. And
All right.
Over to the left. No, I can't change it. I was going to try and be clever and change from one accent to the other.
Your Scottish is very good.
Seamlessly, as if I just turned the dial. But it didn't happen.
It didn't happen.
I love you. Always have.
Geographically going, heading north from the south north. That'll be a skill.
Say that again.
Yeah, what did you just say?
If you could do that, starting in the south of England and head
down in the south. Oh no, right. So hang on, and you're going to start right down in Cornwall, somewhere down there. You move up into like the Bristol area, into Bristol, wherever people in the West Country, they're not quite like the farmers, but they do sound a little bit like farmers. And then you move more into the centre, into Oxford and London, Hertfordshire, Cambridge. As you travel up, up to Norwich, where are you a student? They're not fucking normal up there neither. Birmingham, the next place I know. It's not the nicest of areas, you know. People in Birmingham do my bloody head in. Where's next?
Liverpool.
Liverpool's next, yeah. Liverpool. So I've got a friend from Liverpool, right? My mate comes from Liverpool and says to me, I sound like I'm from the Wirral. Not Liverpool. And I don't even know what the fuck that means. I can't do Manchester. Manchester.
Manchester.
Like, Manchester, get the fuck out. Listen, mate. I'm from Manchester.
That's spot on.
That's very good.
I want to punch you. That's how good it is.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Come on, mate. I'll say it. Manchester.
Does that really wind you up, Adam, as well?
Yeah,
Something about Manchester. It's like, oh, fuck off.
And then you go right over to the northeast, like to Newcastle, Golden Bay.
That's the best I can do with Newcastle. And then,
and then the next place is Scotland. Of course, is Scotland. You don't get much further north than Scotland than the them little isles and all that up there.
Very impressed.
That's it, man.
Very good,
I
Rick.
didn't go to London, mate. What's going on though? Totally missed out London. The whole thing, yeah. The whole damn thing. I just totally missed out London. What's going on there? I'm from like just outside of London, yeah. It should have been the first thing that I did.
Yeah, I want to punch you too. That's great.
Oh, mate, come on then. Let's go outside, yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, we have different accents around here, but you'll see like the country accent and the city accents. You have like both of them in different parts. Like Northwest Indiana was part of Chicagoland area. So they all spoke like Chicagolanders. But then you go 30 miles out into the country a little bit, and everybody's wearing cowboy boots and cowboy hats and saying y'all, and it's like a
Speaking like
different
Mr.
world.
Trey Gowdy.
Yeah, you don't have to go to the South to find people saying y'all. You just have to get away from the big cities. And it's like small town country.
We say y'all over here.
And see, where I'm from, in the country, they don't say y'all. They say yuns. Sometimes yuns all, but not usually y'all. Y'all's definitely a southern thing. It's like the Ozark hillbilly, it's definitely yuns. Yuns all headed up the creek.
And then we'll have people that say different words in different places. Like down south, they'll say soda in some places. Mississippi, Alabama.
Want to get
Georgia.
yourself a soda?
Yeah.
Some people call it pop. And the Ozarks, they call it sody. Get you a sody. Maybe a sody pop, but always got to have the Y on there.
Dude, I like to call it brewski.
My favorite American accent is definitely Trey Gowdy. I love that man.
I don't know, my favorite American accent. I don't know. I've never thought about it.
It depends
George
if
Bailey
it's a
from
male
It's a
or
Wonderful
female.
Life. Yeah. Oh, I love a British female accent. I turn my phone to that. Like yeah,
That's
British
funny
female,
because
she can tell me what to do.
my phone is an American woman. I love the American woman.
Mine's Cookie Monster. He does all my traffic guidance for my GPS.
The funny thing is, if I spoke like my parents wished me to be speaking, I'd be conversing with you much more like this.
Me what you fancy it. My uncle sent me a joke today, Josh. Unusual. The bloke on an island and he's stranded. He's there with a dog and a pig, and they survive and they have meals and that. And after a few weeks, they discovered going down to the beach and watching the sunset. And they sit there and they do this for a few nights, and then one night the bloke he starts to get a few feelings, and he has a little cheeky look over at the pig. And he starts to get a little bit amorous. And the dog's having fucking none of it. All right, he's having none of that. Interrupts and kind of nobody mentions it again. They kind of move on and they have nice times. And months and months later, another boat rocks up and a woman staggers ashore. And again, they carry on. And for a few weeks, they thinks maybe we should invite her down to the beach. So they go down to the beach and for a couple of nights in a row, they sit there and they watch the sunset. And then this one night they've seen feelings of the bloke stir and he looks over to the woman. He says, any chance you fancy taking the dog for a walk?
Go away, I'm rich.
Oh, fuck.
Right, let's play Rich's song.
Make sure you go full screen too, Ed.
I should be on it now. All good.
Yeah, but you're not.
Is it not?
Nope, it's split 50-50.
I've got it.
Approximately.
I've got full.
Really? I don't know
Yeah.
why
Well,
not
now
have
I've
full.
got you. Yeah. Now I've got
You.
whoever's speaking. Yeah, it's whoever's speaking is coming up. So
I tried again. Maybe it was just me. I don't know.
Is that better?
yeah.
I mean,
Did you
It was
share
same
it
same
out?
as what I saw before, but full screen for me.
try that.
Just sharing the screen for me, and everybody's coming up in the corner, bottom
right.
right hand corner.
Yeah, bottom left hand corner on YouTube.
All right, well, here I can fix this. For some reason, it's just being a little wonky.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, does my mic sound better now?
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I forgot to plug it back in this morning and recharge it after the show.
Do I have reverb now? Why?
To be fair, Jack, you'd only just got up. Be like, see, I want a bit of that, like Corona life, where you have a mid-afternoon nap.
Actually, I'm getting back to my old schedule. When I was doing my gardening and all that kind of stuff heavy, and I had that cool schedule, I only worked 3 or 4 days a week, the 12-hour day shifts. Every day off, I took a 2-hour nap in the middle of the day. Every single day. It was like clockwork.
I love a nap. Late afternoon, when I'm in Italy, yeah, it's guaranteed. It's a requirement, mate, so you can enjoy the evening. You know what I mean?
They do it out here. They have a siesta, and what it means is that everybody just stays out later in the evenings. So they eat much later. They don't go out to eat until about 10 o'clock at night.
Children running around at midnight.
Yeah, kids running around at midnight and stuff. But it does. I've got to admit, a couple of years ago, when I first arrived on the island, I sort of went for a few months where I was having a nap in the afternoon, and it was good. It didn't mess me up as much as I thought it would. That's another thing I think that they lied to us about. I think that we're only meant to sort of like nap, and we're never meant to go into a deep sleep, like 8, 9, 10 hour sleeps. Because let's face it, if we were in life-threatening situations or whatever, it wouldn't really do as much good being fast asleep for 8 hours, would it?
Nope, evolutionarily speaking, if you believe that sort of thing, it wouldn't make any sense when humans are most vulnerable, can't see for shit in the dark. So why don't you just go ahead and completely lose consciousness for a few hours, and we'll just hope no predators come. think that shall do it. I think that right is at about the 3-hour mark. Once we finally
Yeah,
got
this was a lot
started.
of fun, guys.
It really has. Thanks so much for hanging out with us tonight. It's been a blast.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, thanks for having us, man.
Anytime. Anytime.
Not like we're going anywhere.
Nope, that's why I'm hoping I get locked down and my job has to shut down for a while. All sorts of stuff I have on my to-do list down here. I've got books I need to narrate. I've got videos I need to make, and I just don't have the time working a full-time job. So fingers crossed, maybe I'll get a few weeks off and get some shit done. Not likely, though.
Yeah.
Well, it has been a great Good Friday. A great Friday. It's been Friday.
Great. That's crusty, isn't it?
That is. Tony the Tiger.
Tony the Tiger.
But make sure you check out Walt, Zach, and I on Tuesday and Friday mornings at 10 a.m. GMT or 4 a.m. Central, which is pretty early for me at 4 a.m. Central. But we have a lot of fun over there on the Ironworks on Truth Frequency Radio, TFRlive.com. I know they're on iHeartRadio. I think there's a couple other streaming platforms. You'd think I'd know that, but I don't. Anyway, check us out over there. Check us out here next week on the Iron Rail Media YouTube channel for another exciting episode of Have No Sphere.
It's Friday, my dudes.
There you go. That's it. We'll see you all next week. Love you guys.
See you guys.
Be good. Be well.
Love you.
Use your head if you can't get to understand. Comprehensive to the fullest, so you understand. Get to know your body works. I know that you can. To avoid the toxics and be the mental again. And this matrix we're playing. Yeah, we collide. It's a strife. We will survive. Follow tracks all the time. Choose always stealing nickels and dimes. Manipulating the seams that you believe all the time. And you think that they're here to help us all. No chance of that, so God help us all. Fall, get out the call. Are you a victor or a victim? Unity is strength, so together we win. Yeah, you live right, I'm just like them. The time is now, yeah, so let's begin. Baby, it's in the air like you don't care. Wave your hands in the air like you don't care. Yeah. This is a situation across the nation. Some will, some won't. Some stuck in stagnation. Some cry, some not, some laugh, some sigh, some choose that they will in love and others will try. With your hands in the air like you don't care. Yeah, with your hands in the air like you don't care. And you think that they're here to help us all. No chance of that, so God help us We've all get out
That was awesome. Thank you so much for that, Rich. That was really good.
Thank you, man. Seriously, thank you.
Really enjoyed that.
Thank you very much for having us on.
Really, anytime. All right,
Always nice to return the compliment, mate.